We waiting on Malika to get her headphones. We're live. I told him we were just waiting on you to get your headphones. Okay, Conspiracy, that's the song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one that Papa wanted us to play.
Greetings, y'all.
Greetings, 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 greetings.
Did you see the description, Malika?
Oh, let me go look. I'm pulling it. I'm pulling it up on my phone now so I can see what the cousins is talking about. You know how much true crime you watch when you go on there and it just pops up at the top.
Like true crime.
Okay.
Like true crime.
Oh, let me turn it down. Okay. That is so funny. That's hilarious. I love it. I love it. When I was on live with Carbon and Chaz last night, first of all, I got up there and I was like, this is the most drunkeniest conversation, beautiful conversation I've
Chaz
ever
was
heard.
fucked up. I could tell when I got up there.
It was so funny to me. It was so funny to me. But it was a beautiful build that they were having. But when I went up, there were parts of it where I wanted to speak about what we're going to dialogue about in a moment. And then I was like, but I can't say anything yet because we're supposed to talk about it on the YouTube.
Yes.
I just had to seal my lips and wait.
She probably did good too.
I've been doing good at this. I didn't call you that whole day that we ran that surprise on you for let's have the conversation.
Yes.
I told Jenny, I was like, I'm going to tell her. I don't know why you would come to me because I'm going to tell her. She's going to know.
That is so funny. Like, I tried.
I did. So I just didn't call you. And I was like, she's going to probably ask me like, we haven't spoken today. Is everything okay? Yes, I'm busy. I'll call you later.
Fine. It's fine, QuaTiterrrr.
That's so funny. I'm not used to being in this big box.
I know. Okay. Yes. Well, we got our peoples up here now. So you and I were conversing, which is where your live came from today, like conversation you had with one of your other people. And then we had a conversation based on that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Led to a most beautiful conversation that led to your conversation today, which was absolutely beautiful.
Gratitude.
But let's get into it.
Okay. So there were so many parts of the conversation that we had that were just so dynamic. And I always regret not taking notes, but our conversations are so natural that you don't think about taking notes until after. And then we'd be like, oh, I hope I can remember all of that.
Because I can't. That's why I said you start.
Right. The main thing was what I had referenced back to on the live on IG today, which was soul polyamory, which was introduced to me on Dox's page. He's Brick City Buddha, and his partner, his wife, is Candace, and they are a beautiful couple that have a podcast. And I was watching his live about a book he's writing called Fuckboy, and he was asking for assistance in regards to individuals letting them know their experiences with fuckboys and fuckgirls in their life and what those things were that made them know that this person was that. And so I had hit him up and I said, I'm not really focused on that part when I think about it. I'm more focused on the appreciation that you gain for your spouse based off of the experience of the fuckboys and the fuckgirls and the levels of discernment that you build within those situations. So they're absolutely necessary. So that is where we had gotten to our first topic before even soul polyamory. We had gotten into the first topic of us not seeing ourselves the way we see everything else, us not giving appreciation for ourselves and how we internally work the way that we give it to everything else.
Yes. Yes.
I think the thing that struck me the most in the conversation was how dynamic we are, in the fact that, like I had said yesterday on the phone with QuaTiterrrr, for me to even be able to release these words, there's so many things that have to happen within my system, within my body, for just one sound to come out, to then connect to the other sounds, to make one of these words. Like, we don't even give credit to that. You know, like the reverence, 1111, the reverence that should be given to self, that mark, I feel like is missed from a grand distance, because every time I feel like I get closer, I realize, oh, I could be doing that too. There's so many options within that.
So you had asked me, you
Mhm,
said, because you also was watching something else, and the young lady had asked the question between your dream and your purpose. And that's where
mhm,
our conversation kind of came in at, between, like, is your dream your purpose, and what's your purpose, and do you have to have a purpose?
mhm.
She
Let
said
me.
her quote was something like, I don't want to know your dream or your purpose. I want to know your dream.
Mhm. So let me. I think I should still have the video here. I think it was on Oshun, so I can play it. Got to be Oshun. Here we go. It's this one. Care about your purpose. I don't care about your purpose. I don't care about your purpose. Live your dreams. I think Black women have done enough operating within our purpose to the detriment of our own dreams. If you have a purpose in life, okay, but how are your dreams doing? If you don't know your purpose and you're struggling with that, change the question. Not what is my purpose? What are my dreams? Too many times, Black women get the message to be for others more than you are for yourself. Show up for others in a way that you don't show up for yourself. Sacrifice for yourself in order to pour into others. I've opted out. I've opted out. I wish I could do that for you too, right? I think enough with your purpose. Live your dreams. So when I first saw that, I think it opened up Pandora's box for me, because I have never, like, I don't look at those things that put you in those feelings or those spaces as my purpose. I've never looked at it like that. I've always looked at that as my human obligations or my physical obligations. But if it doesn't connect to my dreams, then which is what she's really in essence trying to say. Like, your purpose is your dreams, you know,
Yeah.
your true purpose is your dreams. So with her explaining that, like, I'm wondering to myself, how many of us are out here feeling like the pressures of societal norms, the pressures of the world, are what we are living up to in regards to finding our purpose? Because it's not. It just is not.
Yeah.
Um, it's what makes you feel good. It's what you innately do that you take for granted the most, because you don't realize there's value attached to it.
Yes.
QuaTiterrrr, you set me up again.
Something is sticking the shit out of me. Um, no. So, you said what you had asked me, and I said, well, sometimes your dream could be your purpose. If your dream, say, for example, your dream was to be a great mom, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I said, And if that child then also has a purpose for here on life, so your purpose is to make sure that that child fulfills their dream or what their purpose is. So sometimes your purpose is your dream, but I totally get and understand exactly get there
Mhm.
as well.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Wait,
I
it
think
start.
I agree with
There we
her.
go.
Just hearing it, I think I agree with her in a lot of sense of just even hearing what she was saying about the purpose, and sometimes we are overlooked inside of fulfilling everybody else's fucking purpose and what
Mhm.
they're supposed to we're supposed to do for everybody else, not giving us the time of day to really look at ourselves and live the dream that we may want to live, because your purpose
Mhm.
is as a mom, and your purpose is his wife, your purpose is this and that, but what about the
Mhm.
dream? So I totally get that part. I totally get it.
See, and I disconnected those things like but I can see like the different categories of purpose then because I'm a good mom because I'm a good mom. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I separate that from the sole purpose as far as what I've been brought here to do. I know, like, I still go back to calling those obligations, like things that I know that I need to show up and show out for the same way I would my purpose. But I completely understand what you're saying. And I got it yesterday when you said it also, like, okay, yeah, that's true. Because some people, their passion, their entire life is just ensuring that they raise these amazing babies and they do a great job at it and keeping the household doing 100 million jobs that they don't get credit for while someone else does one job to bring home a paycheck to be able to sustain things, you know? And those are such grand beings. Like that's my mom. Also, my mom, she raised us, she stayed home. My dad worked and she made sure that everything was straight with us and did an amazing job at that. So I do get that as being your purpose, but my worry is the people that are confusing, that are searching for their purpose still and confusing those obligations with the path of what they could do for themselves that would fulfill their existence.
And that's kind of where we were at yesterday too, because are they missing something if they think that's their sole purpose or dream in the world is just to bear children? And I mean, that's a very important job, don't get me wrong, but if you're only doing that, are you missing? And that's a great purpose. I don't want to
Mm-mm.
downplay that, but like
If
if
you're
you're
not feeling fulfilled within that, if you feel completely fulfilled and you jump up every day like Ashe, I may get aggravated today, but this is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. But there's women that I speak with, feminine that I have conversations with that say, I love being a mom. I love being a great mom. I love being around my children. I love taking care of all of that, but I just feel like I'm supposed to be doing something else. I think that's who, to make it more specific so everyone knows that we are not knocking that. I think we're speaking specifically about those individuals.
yeah, because being a mother is an amazing, great job, and I did it while raising, working fucked up jobs while raising my daughter. And now that my daughter's grown, I get to live my purpose.
Hmm.
But I wish I could have lived some of my purpose before then too. But I understand the molding that it took for me to get into my purpose as well,
Hmm.
of going through raising her and experiencing certain things helped me along on my journey inside of my purpose.
Hmm. Ashe. Yeah, because we need it. I think those are all, like what we were saying yesterday, people will look at situations and think that that's the worst possible thing, but um, it's all part of the process for you to get to where you need to get to become who you need to be for the next moment that's coming. And
Absolutely, Malika.
even in the experience of individuals that don't show up as they should, now your discernment is that much more better than it was yesterday for whatever is coming versus what is here currently. So
So let me
appreciation
ask you a
still has.
question then. Let me ask the question. Okay. So here we go. We getting into it. Okay. So if your only purpose has been to raise children, are you essentially raising them broad enough, more cultured enough? If that's been your only journey, because like, do you understand what I'm getting at? Can you
I do get that.
fully teach the what you should teach if you haven't experienced nothing but raising children?
I think it depends on what the life looks like before the children were born. I think that's my one of my psychology professors. Nobody DM me talking about. I knew you were a therapist. I did not finish. I have one more class to take, and I'm not going back for my bachelor's. But
Okay. Ah,
one of my is that where what was Aubrey's question?
I'm sorry. I was trying to put that one up there and
Is
then hit
that where
that one.
suffocation of parenting comes in? Oh, okay. We could tap into that. That's I shaded that. Sorry, Aubrey, I completely lost what I was saying before. Um,
You said your
okay, yeah,
therapist, your something.
right. So my therapist, one of the lessons that he gave one day, he said he was like prefacing it by saying he had the most like perfect family dynamic you could think of. Parents didn't argue in front of him. Like he never even heard anybody yell. They always made sure they kept that separate from him. You know, they were always in another room or that like they never brought him around anything that would be considered toxic in order to protect him. But when he left the home, he was fucked up
Yeah, because how
because
do you deal with that when you've never been around it? You're in the
he
corner shaking like,
right. So if I can see exactly what you're saying, if there's a lot of things, especially if you have children at a young age and now you're just in the house and not still, but you know what that goes back to, QuaTiterrrr? That goes back to still choosing self before anything else.
that. That's my point. Yes, absolutely.
Because mothers need to make time for themselves. Mothers need to take trips. Mothers need to travel. Mothers need to have mom days, spa days. So
Absolutely.
if I think that's a good balance, and you can definitely prepare them for the experience depending on your level of communication and transparency and communication with your children. Um, you can definitely provide that for them if you are still choosing you and stepping out there in the world and seeing what's going on. And there's so many ways to do that even without leaving your home now. That
So as
mhm.
you're even saying this, Malika, Spirit is showing me something. And the way it's being shown to me is if that is her purpose or her dream, right? And that's all she's done is raised you and your siblings. And she's very proud of that. But now you're doing and you're living your life and you're talking to her and you're telling her, that's not all I want to do. She sometimes I've seen it happen will be in her feelings. Like, so what are you saying? I wasn't like, I still feel like they will feel some type of way.
I think a lot of moms do, because they start to second guess themselves based on what it is that the child says that they now want, because it's different. And honestly, I think moms deep down inside, they want that for their babies. But when your baby verbally negates your existence and says, I don't want to be like you when it comes to that. Like, I want to be better than that. I want to be different. Even if you just said, I raised my children to be better than me, you have children to be better than you. All of a sudden, it's like, well, hold on. What are you saying about my life? Are you saying that
Exactly.
like you turned out perfectly fine? Like all of those lines come up when you
That
have
part.
situations like that.
Yes.
It couldn't have been that bad. I was just watching, what is it? It was one of those shows on Netflix. And I think those pressures are even passed on if there's a son. Those pressures are passed on to the woman that the son chooses to be with. What was it? Married at First Sight, I think is the
Yep.
show on Netflix. And
Hmm.
there was one gentleman whose mom stayed home as soon as she had her baby. She no longer went to work. She has been a full-time housewife since then. And her daughter did the same. So here comes this new woman that just married the son, and it's Married at First Sight. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So they don't get to see them until they meet at the altar and get
Yes.
married and
Yes.
right, go through the process. And they're explaining to her, like, they're kind of letting her know she wants to work. She doesn't want to just be at home, but this is their family dynamic. And so they kind of got a little snippy with her. like in the passive aggressive way, like, well, if you really want to be the best mother to your child that you can be, you know, you let go of the dreams or the wants of yourself and just you do for your children because that is what life is about now. I
No,
about turn the TV off.
like, 'cause now you gonna make me hate everybody in the house.
That part,
Absolutely fuck not.
that part, like it makes me feel so good to see when night, like last night, Nye was on the cricket creating crystal cards and printing them out and cutting them, and Ro was able to go in the room, and Nye was handling the cricket office area. Or when she comes out, or Elijah comes out, and they come out and they watch the process, and I see that they're receiving it and they're learning it and applying it to what they're doing. Like if I wasn't choosing to do something outside of what my natural role is, my obligation as a good human being, um, they wouldn't be able to have those moments. And I feel like you need those moments.
They do.
Like
For
I got to see that with my mom, with her. My mom actually started working when I started working. And I was like, Mom, you need to feel what this is like. Come over here with me. And so she did. And we worked together for the same establishment. We both worked for Disney spas. And it was an interesting experience, but I had already received what it was I was explaining a moment ago, because although my mom wasn't working, we always had adventures. It's like when I watch Charming with her babies, like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be like you, Charming. The field trips, the different places that they go to, the different experiments that they do, the gardening, like that is fulfilling. That's
yes,
nourishing. Mm-hmm.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah. What are you working on?
My necklaces.
You put them on the website already?
Nope. I have to do this so I can take the pictures of them
Okay.
and put them up and send them over for to James, as well as put them up on my website as well.
Right. Right.
Because
Y'all
again,
better go get you one of those.
some of them are charmed.
I love it. I love it. It sits so beautifully on Go Smudge Yourself.
Yes.
Ashay. I love it. And that's the embroidered one. I had started with this, which was the heat press. And it's like a
Yeah.
little blingy. And then now Ro is doing the embroidery. So it works out beautifully. I like how clean it is, the lines. Oh,
Absolutely.
okay. So soul polyamory.
Okay, explain to people what that is, because I had to ask you. I said, "Am I thinking about it wrong?"
Right. Let me look at the chat because I apologize, cousins. I haven't been paying attention the way I should be. But um young naughty, that's deep. Sometimes mothers just regret who they have the child with and not the child itself. People do change after children come in the picture and you get crazy midlife crisis. I think even in addition to that, young naughty, sometimes moms, because they see so much of a reflection of that spouse that may not have been the best for them, moms will, because I've accepted this, that I did this with my son as well. I will have already given my child the story of the parent that's no longer in the picture, just based off of knowing that there's that gene connection. And it also doesn't help when the baby looks just like the person, you know? And so it's like, don't choose those friends. Do you know what can happen? Because your bio dad was locked up for some years. But I'm already placing on you, and with knowing our power and manifesting the way that we do as the majestic beings that we are, it's doing a disservice to our children because we keep doing that to them, putting other people's stories on them without even letting them experience it for themselves. Okay, so soul polyamory, right? The way that he had, from the few clips that I saw on Dox's page, the way that he was describing this is looking at all the parts, looking at all the parts of yourself throughout your life. Every time that you evolved into a new version of you, and to make it short and sweet, you in the now doing the work with all of those parts of you. So you're pretty much hand in hand. So it's polyamory with self. For those of you who don't know what a polygamous relationship is, it's when you have like one man and a bunch of wives, or one woman and a bunch of husbands. It's that. So just picture that, but with self. And the more versions of yourself that you connect with, the smoother the process is of the experience, is how I received it. And I thought it was, go ahead, QuaTiterrrr, please.
No, I was just thinking like that's why I was asking you yesterday, like, am I thinking about it incorrectly? And then our conversation went from there on how beautiful that is, that when you start to see yourself and the different versions of yourself. And I said, Malika, damn, you said that like that. And I've said that before, but it never registered to me like that until you said it. Because we forget that you change. I am a
Mm-hmm.
completely different person than when I was 2 years ago. And that's a different version of me. And I was like, so what do you think, Malika? What makes that different version of yourself? You know what I'm saying? And you had a beautiful answer.
I don't remember.
I can't quote it perfectly. I can't really even remember, but it was beautiful because you explained it as if like like you change, just like being in a relationship. And I said you have to get to know your spouse,
That's
all over again because y'all not the same person you were when y'all met.
that's what it was, because when you had mentioned that, you said, Malika, this sounds like what we do in relationships. And I was like, look, there it goes again. We give so much to outside sources and do these things and set these tasks up for outside sources, and don't remember to turn it around and do that for self, because really and truly we're supposed to come first. And it was so amazing to me when QuaTiterrrr said that Ro and I have had those conversations, like applying different methods to how we coexist and exist in our individuality, applying these different methods to make sure that we're transforming together as we transform as individuals in the work that we're doing together and separately. And
Yeah.
I never thought of applying that, like even in the manifesting journal, I have a page in there that is for connecting with your inner child. But why not go beyond that? Why not the adolescent? Why not the teenager? Why not the individual you were in a specific relationship? All of those. And another example that Docs gave was, I guess he had gotten an album done. I saw the post today. He had gotten an album done. And he said when he sat in the car, it was a conversation between him and wifey. And he sat in the car and he was listening to the project. And he said at that moment, he felt like the younger version of him was sitting in the passenger seat like, you are really cool. Like you are the fucking boss right now. Like, let's
Period.
cruise. I want to ride with you. And it touched me so deeply when he said that younger version of him, it's as if they were saying, I want to be you when I grow up.
I
How
love
affirming
that.
is right? How affirming is that to your existence?
Wowzers, because we even talked about writing a letter to your 6-year-old self or your younger
Mm-hmm.
self. And I've done that. And I think sometimes you do need to do that. And to look back at where I came from, I would want to be me,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So it begs to ask, would you change certain things that happen because one small tweak, would I not be who I am? You got to give gratitude to everything.
Nashe. Absolutely. And even one small tweak, would I still be here?
That part. Because a nigga was
Mm-hmm.
trying to knock my head off.
Music tried to knock mine off.
And I survived it.
Because I've always said that, like, if Palm the Replay would have ended up being mine, I don't think I would still be alive.
Yes, you say that all the time too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a deep ass thought.
Mm-hmm. So, in essence, as horrid as that moment had seemed in that moment, or, it, I've learned that the original feeling that I get is this saved my life. Like it truly, and it gave me, I wouldn't trade this for the world. Like, I love my children, I love my husband, I love my friends. It feels good to add that to the list.
You know what? When you said it, it felt good to hear you say my husband. I love
Mm,
that.
Ashe, gratitude. Yeah, I love all parts of this, and I wouldn't trade this. Like I told Ro the other day, if if the deities came to me and said, we can send you back and we can make it so the existence that you we're going to live if upon the replay continued. We'll give you all of those. I told them I wouldn't take it. I would tell them, put me back. Put me right back where I was just now, please. I love you, gratitude, but no thank you. Like, this,
Yeah.
because that's like how Bob Marley said, when a man asked him about riches, he said, what is rich? Like, your version of rich is not the same as mine. My rich looks like the people I surround myself with. My
Mm,
rich looks like the conversations that I have with the people that I care about and that care about me. My rich is reciprocation between two like minded beings. Like, those are the moments where you feel like, whoa, this is a moment. Money just, it has its benefits, absolutely, but it doesn't fulfill you. It doesn't give you the chills. It doesn't give you butterflies. Like, the experience does that. Yeah. But that
absolutely.
that oh, and you had said something else profound too, with the soul polyamory, which was when you were speaking about the when we started speaking about the timelines, and like how the effects of the other timelines on how we exist and how we evolve. I don't remember how you presented the question.
Yeah.
Do you? Do you
No, but
remember?
I was trying to get to that in my mind because I was like, wait a minute, did we have a conversation carrying on to
Mm-hmm.
that too? Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to understand what was being said there. Damn it, we should be recording shit.
I try to tell you, it's afterwards that we be like, because it's so profound. When we're going back and forth and like, yeah, but what about this? I know. Next time I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm pressing the recorder.
Like, yes,
let me
Malik.
let me send you this voice note, but we never really know when it's going to happen. It just ends up happening. But I know with that part of the conversation, when you were explaining how alternate versions of ourselves could
Oh,
be
right.
adding to the
Okay, yes.
the
So I
evolution of us.
basically I said, so what if we're just going in and out of dimensions, experiencing different things at different times, creating different versions of yourself. So the poor version, because I've been poor. Is listen, Papa told it on me. I had to suck and dig for some toothpaste and toilet paper. You hear me? And it was right too. But I had to do it. But that was a different version of me. And so now I'm in a different dimension, experiencing something different,
Hmm.
living a different life. And so maybe it's different parts of us or different versions of us that go into different dimensions because we don't really even know what the fuck a dimension is for real.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and that the reason why that was so profound to me is because of the dreams that I share a lot of my dreams with QuaTiterrrr. We both share dreams with each other, but some of the dreams that I have, I will go into. So it'll be a dream with all the same faces, but they're in completely different character. Like, I just got out of a dream, and when I turned the light on, QuaTiterrrr called me, and I popped up in my dream. I got a phone call, and I looked, and I opened my eyes, and the phone had said that QuaTiterrrr was calling. But when I turned the light on in the room, my dream came back to me, and Carbon was in my dream. But Carbon was an artist, and I was a producer, and it feels as though it's real every time. It's usually also with Ro, and there'll be multiple versions of us, and I'm in my body, but I'm being me, and people are looking at me like, Malika, that's not something that you would say or do. And I realized, like, oh, I have to kind of just sit back and see how I'm being led, because you're not used to this version of me. Like, there's an alternate version of me. And there was, at one point, to give you another example, um, I had a dream where I was able to, so I was with a man that was in a long coat, and he had taken me to an alternate parallel. And he told me, he said, I'm going to show you something, but I need you to stay, like, crouched down, and you can watch, but the two of you can't see each other. And so I said, okay. And when I looked, I don't know if y'all remember the movie Selena, when she went into the mall and all the people had rushed in and crowded.
Yeah.
So we were in this mall space, and I'm hiding kind of behind a clothing rack. And all of a sudden, this rush, I hear women's voices, this rush of people come in to the store, and they're screaming, and they're like, oh my gosh, she's here, she's here. And when I looked, it was me.
Yeah. I remember you telling me this.
Right. And at that time, I was very timid when it came to my music and my self-confidence when I had this dream. And so seeing me, I was super confident. I didn't have my fro yet at that point, but in the dream, I had my fro. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, she's here, she's here. And the only thing else that I can remember is that she had said, they were saying, oh my goodness, she bought the Pink Panthers. And it was a
Yeah.
shoe store. And so I've always researched like, okay, where are the Pink Panthers? Because out of one of these dreams, there's a picture that appeared in my phone. Oh, there's so many of them, and I don't want to go on too long. This is the last one. So I went back in time
It's
to a
fine.
location. I went back in time to a location, and there were two children there, and the not project, but the assignment was for me to ensure, because one child was good and one child was evil. But what it was is that they were two parts. Well, they were one whole that was broken into two parts of me. And so it was my job to go back from wherever I was to back in time to ensure that the evil one does not overtake, because whatever they do in their lifetime is going to affect the next Malikas. So it's two twins that are running around. And at one point, I have my phone on me, kind of like Quantum Leap. I have my phone on me, and one of the little badass one, she had grabbed the phone and took off. And so I ran to chase after her, and I got the phone, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to get in so much trouble. And that's when I got up. And that week when I looked in my phone, there's a picture, it's still in my phone right now, from 2033. It's the first picture in my phone. Of course, it's not ever not going to be the first picture in my phone, because the date on it is 2033. And it's of
You showed me that.
right, it's of a record, and it's in it says Def Jam, and the name of the song on the record is What Is It? This is not a dream. That part is real life. Like, it's in my phone right now. I can pull it up
Mhm.
and show you. Um, so associating that with what we were speaking about now, when QuaTiterrrr said that, it blew my mind, because I know I'm always having these dreams. I love the ones with Ro, because how he reacts to things that I do in these dreams, I can tell that Ro is not used to my reaction, but the way he receives it is so different. Or for instance, in one, his book was on the shelf, and for whatever reason, I was meant to protect Rihanna in this. Anyway,
Yeah.
but
Tell
yeah,
me.
that was
Yeah.
that was weird. But my parents in the dream were not supportive, and it made me a certain type of Malika. And that's absolutely opposite of my existence. My parents are the first in line. And when I was in the house with Ro, we lived in this like penthouse. It was windows, you could see the city. We was banking. I was singing. He was like my manager. But then I looked over on the shelf again. It's me, but it's not me, right? It's
Yeah.
not this version of me. So I look on the shelf and I see his name on the side of a book. And I realize, oh my gosh, he's writing books here. So I pull out the book and I turn to a page, and it's speaking about how he lost his mother at a young age. And
Yeah. Look at
right.
this.
And so I turned around to Ro in the dream with me, and I was like, oh my goodness, you lost your mother. And he was like, I know, Malika, like we know that. Like it's in the book. And I was like, no, but I need you, because Ro and his mom are very close. In the dream, I'm like, I need you to know this experience of having your mom, because it's such a big part of who you are. Speaking of Myro here. I know this is confusing for some. I'm so sorry. But it did something to me where when I rose out of my sleep, I was in tears because of his reaction, because when I hugged him, his body kind of went limp. And so going back to what QuaTiterrrr was saying, if these are actually interdimensional exchanges that we're having with other versions of ourselves, I evolved from every one of those dreams. I became a different person to my husband from every one of those dreams. I showed up differently to people who were in those dreams. So if that is connected, I think that that's so beautiful. And you've spoken about this too with the movie, with the lady who goes to alternate dimensions to fight. It's like she goes to one, when she comes back, now she can
Everything
fight.
everywhere, yeah, all at once.
Absolutely. And I think that goes back to that same soul polyamory, because who's to say our soul isn't split into multiple forms that are still all connected? in different interdimensionally in different timelines. It's just
Absolutely.
it's a lot.
Absolutely.
It makes me feel good to know that we have so much assistance, to know that we have
Absolutely.
so much guidance. Yeah, that's pretty dope. I loved it.
Absolutely.
I just want y'all to know it's so much easier to be in the comments with you all or to have more boxes of it. Can we get some cousins up?
We definitely can. We can have more conversation and have other people come up as well and give their thought
Mm-hmm.
on what we're saying. Because
For
I'm
sure.
trying to see, and this damn light is blinding the shit out of me.
I know your ring light got you looking popping. I got this selenite lamp on, and I'm looking like I'm sitting in the dusty dark.
Malika.
Hey, cute.
You do
Yeah.
not look like you're sitting in the dark.
Oh, you know what? One thing that I said I'm going to practice, and if anyone connects with that, with the soul polyamory too, is taking pictures from throughout my lifetime, from baby on to adulthood, and placing them around the altar to show the journey as a reminder. Not only that, but to give reverence that every step of the way, as I've evolved, the ancestors, the guides, the deities have walked me through those moments. They've slowed down time when it was an emergent situation for me to be able to feel and hear my intuition, just to give gratitude for all of those special moments along the way and give recognition to self within that, because without all of those parts, I wouldn't be here. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
something, if anybody else wants to do that project, take pictures if you share your altar and send it to me so I can see. I just think that's so dope. Gratitude, ebb and flow.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Hey,
What's
Ruth.
up, Daddy?
Nothing. Chilling. I just woke up and tapped on the lab, but I've been in the chat for a minute. But I love this conversation.
What you got to add to it?
Well, I mean, I kind of agree with what Malika is saying, but I feel like you kind of mentioned this on a smaller scale before about reaching into other dimensions or reaching out to ourselves in other dimensions to pull in what we need when we're manifesting. So that does
Abs-
feel good. It feels really good to know that that's even possible. And just like when we get to a space where we can do it efficiently, it's gonna be it's gonna be not a mess, but it's gonna be definitely something to write home about.
Absolutely.
But I was kind of comparing what she was saying to to the movie that we talked about a couple of times about the everything, what is it,
Everywhere,
everything
all at
everywhere,
once.
yeah, that
Yes.
movie. And then the OA, because I was also
Yeah.
saying like in one life she was blind, but in the other she never was blind, or she never
She never
and
experienced that.
yeah, and I think in another life she actually drowned, if I remember it correctly. It was a minute ago, but yes, I wholeheartedly agree with everything that Leek said. That
So,
was dope.
so guided look, right? With us knowing those teachings, because that's what I thought of too when QuaTiterrrr presented, when she expounded and presented that connection between the other timelines. So if you connect that now to soul polyamory,
Hmm.
right? And you connect with all, again, all those parts of you within this existence.
What the hell?
And
Where'd you go, Malika?
well, I was matching Aubrey with the circle, so I had just turned the camera off because I'm showing attraction and soul in full soul polyamory
Absolutely not,
to this
Malika.
photo of myself from about 2 years ago. This was, see, this, I wanted to give an example. What
Yeah.
I'm doing is providing an example of showing appreciation to a previous version of
Absolutely not,
yourself.
friend.
Yeah. Greetings. Greetings.
Aubrey, Aubrey, I got in trouble.
You did. Why did you do that? I said
just
said,
wanted.
dang, is she bringing me hell with her?
And I did because it was because see, it was like diagonal. Their cameras were on, and then ours were the little circles. It looked aesthetically pleasing.
Hey, it matched. It
It
matched.
did. It did. Oh, so guided to wrap up to wrap that up. Imagine now you're connecting with all of those parts of you, right? In this existence, who's to say that those the other beings that you're connected to, the other versions of yourself in those simulations are not doing the same work and you are.
Right? Yes, simulations. Absolutely. The fuck, yes.
Now that is, yeah. And then just even with that, with in the same breath, you're calling out to, you know, your other self in this other dimension. But I feel like you could also be calling into the troubles that that particular person. Like, say for instance, I want money, right? Say I need money, and I'm calling out to myself in a different dimension that is basically well off. And but this person probably was a crook and did a whole bunch of stuff. So I feel like I could be possibly calling this person's troubles into my life because I called out to that money. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So I'm so glad you said it like that because that's what just registered in my damn mind. Even with you saying that, guided, because we always say, in my other life, I was a crook. In my other life, I was this or that. So is it possible that you don't understand the assignment of this life because you were not, or not, hold on, I'm trying to get Jonathan up here, because you are not like functioning inside of the life space of this eon. So you don't even understand the assignment.
Yes. And then what if this assignment, the one that we're on, is the reason? It's the reason why we're living this life because in those other dimensions we wasn't getting it. So it's like, okay, we got to split this again.
So
You
is that
know,
what karma is?
sounds
See,
about
now you
right.
didn't took it deep. You didn't took it all the way there. Okay? You didn't
Yes.
broke it down.
Sounds about right.
Don't
So
it?
question, is that what twins are? Like, do two
That's what I
accidentally mix?
said, Malika.
Did I just miss
You
it?
know
Wait,
what?
you said
Because
that just
usually
now?
there's
No,
always a good and
I
bad
Oh,
one.
mean, like,
Leak,
Yeah.
you
that's
starting stuff now. We
what
finna go into a rabbit hole.
this is how the conversations is. So I'm glad because at least this one's recorded.
Mhm.
But that's like, okay, so the twin is the oopsie. We accidentally let two into the same. Ooh, because seeing that bond between twins when they're like, there's twins who have one has passed away and the other has felt it. And isn't that how we connect with
Mhm.
even with deja vu? How do I know that that's not an experience that an alternate version of me has
Yeah.
had? And we now we have both had the same circumstance or the same situation happen. There's been times that I'll be sitting
Yes.
and I will tell Ro, I'm supposed to be on a boat right now. He's like, you just got that feeling? Yeah. Or like, I feel like I'm in New York. Why do I feel like that? I smell New York air. Or something will take me back to another location or will be somewhere and I know I dreamt it. When we went to the Aesthetic in Myrtle Beach, we passed a road that I know I dreamt when I had a different version,
had
one
to
of these.
happen.
Right. And in this version of the dream, I couldn't see myself, but my skin color was different. And I ended up getting abducted by a police officer and left on the side of the road, but it ended right before he shot me.
Oh
When
my.
we were driving to Myrtle Beach, the road was there. I said, Romance, that's the road, the house, and everything. So, how do we know that these other alternate experiences that we're having, that's not what those connections are?
Wait, and let me say this before Quintina says it. Before she says that, let me just say this because you just fucked my head up. Because when you say that, I start thinking about the twins. The twins don't make it. Are you coming back too soon inside of another life cycle?
Hmm.
Not you throwing everything, mic drop.
Right. I can't throw my phone, y'all, because I got to talk on it.
I will say greetings, everybody. Greetings,
Greetings.
governess.
Greetings.
Um, I will say my sister is not my twin, but she is my twin. We're born 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day apart. And I took up Tai Chi, and she took up massage therapy. But I can do massage therapy because she took up massage therapy.
Mm.
People thought we were twins. They tried to do a report on us, so we're like, we're not. We weren't born at the same time. but I always know how she's feeling. I know when she's feeling down. We live in the same house right now, so it's it's stronger. But even when she stayed in North Carolina, I knew when something wasn't right with her, so I would call her because I could feel it. So I completely understand that. And I was the bad one out of us. She was the quiet, do everything right, and I was the nah. I'm gonna do what I want. So
You were the one who grabbed the phone from me and took off and almost got me in trouble with the dream world. You
Like, 'cause this is blowing my mind. I want you to understand what I'm saying though, because listen, this is blowing my mind because a lot of times when people lose their babies and I do their readings and I say this child is getting ready to come back and they have another child, like, you understand what I just said? Are you coming back like we are? Listen, I can't. Go ahead, talk. Let me press mute.
Oh my goodness. No, 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 no. It made so much sense. And I'm over here thinking, like, since you went down that rabbit hole, I am so sorry, Christina, girls. I know because you want to talk. But I'm excited because I thought about deja vu. Because I had deja vu today about moments that I'm like, wait a minute. I remember this. So what if that is also another thing in regards to that as well? Because deja vu is happening more often than it was before. Because I never really had deja vu as much as I'm having it now as an adult. That's crazy.
I use them as bookmarks, or I call them bookmarks. They kind of let me know I'm on the right path, and
Okay.
the more times I see them, the closer I know I am to another goal or another level, because
Come
they ramp up.
through. Okay.
That's
So
how I look at them.
Jonathan, and we forgot about this part, QuaTiterrrr. Jonathan calls them bookmarks.
I
You
love
you
that.
Jonathan calls them bookmarks. The fork in the road moment that we spoke about. Yeah, you're on mute. I'm not allowed to be off cam. You're not allowed to be on mute. I'm just saying.
Listen, you've been on mute the whole time. Yes, the
But
bookmark.
so QuaTiterrrr had presented the question where in this evolution of self and the soul polyamory and the timelines, this is after we got, through these parts of the conversation. She says, does this explain when we all of a sudden wake up and we or rise and we do something differently, whether your handwriting changes or there's certain physical, like my example was sometimes like you'll get up and you look at yourself in the mirror and you'll be like,
I
something
look
looks
different.
different. Yeah, like what happened? Like even with you see it, especially with your babies, because they're growing so fast. Like they might go to sleep and get up. You're like, you look taller today. Like what
Like,
triggered
yes,
that?
I you today, little baby.
I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing that with you. I don't even want to
So,
talk no more.
Yeah, I didn't look
with
this our
saying
baby.
that, do you feel like so? What do you feel like it is? Do you feel like you woke up in a different timeline?
I
Do you
do
feel like
believe
that
that.
you
I
may have
do.
mistakenly aligned yourself with an alternate you in another reality, or like what do you think? Like what do you think that is though?
I
If
was
I
you
telling
had to
I'm
guess.
sorry.
QuaTiterrrr
Go ahead.
I was telling QuaTiterrrr that that is what Ro and I called in one conversation we had the fork in the road moment. Like you have these dynamic moments with throughout your life where you have to make a choice. The example I gave is the Goosebumps books. I don't know if any of y'all used to read the Goosebumps books.
Yes,
I
Okay,
yes.
love Goosebumps.
so look,
And a
there
TV
was
show.
right in the book they just copied the same idea for Black Mirror on Netflix. There would be the books where you could make the story your own. So you get to the bottom of the page and it would say, if you want Johnny to go into the haunted house, go to page 75. If you want him to go back home, go to page 62. And you could end up creating your own book. They did that with the episode of Black Mirror where the movie would stop, you could select what you wanted the character to do next, and everybody was posting the different end results of the movie that they were getting based on what they chose. So in explaining that now, apply that to your life, right? When you think about it, you have these dynamic moments that are kind of the end to be the moment where one chapter is going to end and another is going to begin, and you are left to choose which one, and based on which one you choose, that new thing comes in. Go ahead, QuaTiterrrr, because I
No, because that's exactly, listen. So saying that, Malika, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
When I said I died on the table and they told me I had to step in, does that mean they went and got me from a different parallel universe? Because all of a sudden people were very attracted to me. They loved me. And it's like, well, you love Adina. So did they go
Hmm.
and get me from a different, because I'm a step in.
It's
Hmm.
like Rick and Morty, jumping in other people's timelines,
Mm-hmm.
And
or
who's to
your
say?
own timeline. I would think.
Yes.
Who's to say that if all of these versions of you, because we don't know what the creation story is of any of these other alternate universes, right? So who's to say, and how many dynamics of that based on the perceptions within that timeline, how many different creation stories there are? Anyway, but who's to say that they don't already have that step in a different space, kind of like stem cells?
Waiting.
Right, exactly. Like how when you speak about the incubators and the, go ahead,
Hmm.
guys.
Uh oh. She look like she's about to explode with something.
Look, okay.
That just fucked my head up because we all have doppelgangers. Are they just
Yeah,
going plucking us out of the damn plant?
I've met five of mine in my life.
But
That
you know something? What's so crazy is this is so crazy. What's so crazy is right. So pass me up. I lost it.
Listen, you done
I,
stumped
I
us
do
down.
have
It was
I do
the
have one thing to
incubator
say.
that took my
Oh, go
math
ahead. Go
somewhere
ahead.
else.
I I will say that I did a spiritual bath at one of my friends' Airbnbs like probably a month ago. I found the proper oils that go along with, my elemental of my body and chakras and stuff. So I get in the water, and then next thing you know, I ended up going into a meditative state, and I ended up somewhere else. Like I might have been in the tub, but I was looking out, and I could see people like talking, and it was like I was at a party. It was nothing but colors. I couldn't actually see what someone looked like, but I was looking around, and I look up, and I had been in that place for like 4 hours in the tub, just
I
like
told
sitting
you
there
I
for
had
me.
a dream
Oh,
where I
dang.
saw myself come in through a door and it scared me so badly I flipped backwards out of my chair. And they kept saying, "Calm down, that's not you." And I was like, "Fuck you, that's me." And they were like, "No, that's not." But listen, everybody in the house had a look-alike. It was crazy as shit. And that was a dream, but it wasn't.
Can
Well,
I
what's
say
oh,
something,
sorry, go ahead,
Malika,
Doc.
to you about this dream that you say you're protecting Rihanna? So, like, I do dream interpretation. You're not protecting Rihanna. You're protecting your energy because your energy was that song. Your energy set her
Mhm.
ablaze. And in my
Uh,
opinion, like that came to me while you
Wow.
were saying that, which is like it ties into goddesses. It ties into all like that is your purpose, is to protect our energy. You're protecting your own energy in that dream. You're not protecting.
Let me
Wow.
tell you what's so deep about that. Hold on, wait a minute.
That was a
Hold
word.
on. I'm about to read the poem that you wrote for me because you're
wasn't
gonna
it?
make me cry again.
No, don't
Um,
cry.
Let me tell you what is so dope about that because this dream would have been right around that time when Grand Rising was just starting. After like a little bit after the retreat when we really just started like digging our feet in. Right, Quartita? That was a few months back. That was when it was still like I'm not really sure how this is going to work if people are going to feel what I feel or if they're going to be able to feel. It was before all of that, right in the transition though of stepping fully into it. So for you to say that, it was in a sense because she knew that she depended on me for security in the dream. And
Mhm.
when you say that it may have been in the physical form of her, but it was my energy that I was protecting. The reason why I would get emotional with this, and Quartita, I'm sure her eyes are about to buck and her mouth is about to open again. Do you remember when I told you it's as if they raped my energy?
Yes.
I
Yes.
never, our
Because
word,
they did.
sorry.
They
Right. I
did.
never, it was Quatiter had done the interview with the gentleman that was in the music industry. And I had this breakthrough moment that was so emotional. And she called me and I was like, I just don't know how to feel. I was, when I say bawling, and she was like, well, talk to me. Tell me what's going on. What's happening? What are the thoughts? And I said, I didn't realize that my energy could be R worded. You hear about it physically, you hear about being assaulted, but to know that your energy, that can happen to your energy in rooms that you're not even in. All of these people gathered in a room and took advantage of my essence. They took
Isn't
advantage of
But look what came out
isn't
of it,
that
Monica.
domination?
what's up, boo? Guidance? What'd you say?
I said, isn't that domination?
I don't know. I
Because
would
you can
think
be
that,
dominated without having permission.
yeah, yeah, without
Oh,
even being present though. Like I if I, now knowing what I know, if I wish I could go back to that time and see what it was that I was going through, not knowing my gift back then the way that I know it now. How did I show up during those times that my energy was being fed off of? Like
Sound like
even
you
thinking
showed up
about,
open, very open and unshielded.
hmm,
absolutely,
which is
absolutely.
why
And
you have goddesses.
All I could think about was when Malika was like, I was in the
That was
in
your purpose right there.
Okay, Donna. For
which is my
real.
protection and calmingness. And it's for the studio. That's why this started. This was my secret that I would bring with me into the studio when I would feel unprotected. I would bring
Mhm.
it to musical spaces and on trips when I felt unprotected. And I would spray a little bit and I would smell it. And I always had my tiger's eye and my amethyst. I carry a tiger's eye and selenite. It's like a sphere. It's not this big though. This is the larger selenite sphere, but it's a smaller version of this in the selenite and then in the tiger's eye. And I roll them around to kind of separate myself from whatever the energy was in the room, that I was either seeing what it is that they're doing or feeling what it is that they're thinking, or I, with my gifts and not fine tuning them or refining them, it was turmoil for me at all times. And that's what this was. It wasn't until the retreat when they convinced me, I have to share this, that I was like, okay, when I get home, I'll work on it. And the night that I got home, that next morning, I had the next rising, I had the website up. I shade to that connection. That just, wow.
That was like your whole purpose. It was like the moment that set your purpose on fire
Yeah, I
was
felt that.
them
Ashe.
taking that from you.
Ashe.
Ashe. My apologies, Aubrey. What were you saying? Aubrey, come through with the come through.
Wait, what you
I
say?
wanted to hear what Quatina has to say too.
I
Wait,
know.
you had your hand up. I'm sorry. This is why I tried to turn my camera off. Oh, sorry, Tina.
She's been trying to jump in here. Mhm. I totally get that part because I enjoy being by myself too.
Yeah, all my growth has been by myself.
Yes, me too. Because we are two different people inside of self. We're multi beings inside of self. You know what I mean? We're definitely multi beings inside of self. And that's what I'm saying. Like, how many versions of us is it?
Now, this is what I was gonna say because we were just talking about. Okay, so for instance, right, you brought to our attention many times that in the spirit, your name is Amira Suatum, right?
Amira Suatum. Amara Suatum. Yes.
Amara Suatum.
Yes.
So now, how many ways can a soul be split? Because if you live different, if one soul live different lives per life cycle, but then also in one life cycle you can be split into so many dimensions of that same life.
Because you don't die really. Your energy. And so you're just like being re-looped over and over again. That's why it blew my mind about the twin. Um, because when they say, like Malika, when they say, "Oh, that twin ate that twin," and it's like, okay, so were you attempting to come back before the time, and that's how you didn't came back two or three times inside of one vessel, and that's why you're triplets and twins. But you are different versions of yourself. That's why it's like, oh, that's the bad twin. She a good one. She more responsible. Like it's just different versions of yourself. You didn't came back. I cannot.
That'll be so deep if that is the case. Because again, how can you drag? How can you? Because I mean, if it's a situation where you say you tried to come back and you brought yourself back from a different lifetime into one, that kind of speaks to like the colliding of dimensions. But I don't know, something's often between that if it actually created two people. Or was it
Uh,
that your duality was split in the womb?
It very well could be. It very well could be split. Cause how else? You know what I mean? Like it's just for me. It's just a lot to take in and think about right there.
It is.
I know, like I am
And
mind blown.
that's why I was breaking up the different life cycles that you live per lifetime, and then also each lifetime having so many dimensions. Because how many dimensions is it in one lifetime,
got
Hmm.
it.
in
I
one
think
lifespan?
you got a point too, because you have to look at it as what about all the things that you know how to do that you've never done before, but you
Mm-hmm.
just know how to do stuff. Well, that would be a connection to your other lives. You just tap it into them. But I think
You
that if
know
people are
what?
more tapped in, they can pull from them and use them.
Hmm.
But
Yes, we can use each other's energy.
in that same breath, remember we were talking about how when you have certain skill sets, some of those skill sets are tied to the deities and
Yes.
how you can be activated in their energy. Like, so you have people again who are like multi-talented, but then you have the deities that work with different skill sets, and if you acquire all them skill sets, you can be activated in that energy, not knowing how to use it or not even knowing that you tapped into that energy.
So Derek says, "What about when the twins are boy and girl? It's still yourself because you've been looped around." Papa Candelo says that's where homosexuality come in there because you've been looped inside of different bodies. So when they say, "I feel like I'm this, I feel like I'm that in this body," I don't know why I'm attracted to this because, well, in this lifetime you were a man. And you have not completely forgotten of who you were. And I believe that we come back as different beings.
But
So do
also,
you
isn't
think
duality? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say, do you think why the difference between the acceptance outside of, I think that was Uganda or Africa, where they say they're gonna start castrating the
The
men?
law.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think, as far as everywhere else, do you think that's why the acceptance of LGBT community has become what it is because people have been looped so many times since when it was cliche to be within that behavior? And if that's the case, the people that were hiding it and doing it back then, especially like a lot of the female artists, they had their girlfriends, they would walk with their little man, their boy toy, but they had their ladies that, they would rock with. So were they already looped and were advanced in their lifetimes, and that's why they were such grand creative beings, like the Bessie Smiths, like I never and her, she's on my husband, and I can never remember her name. Anyway, like them, like those individuals that were at it felt like they were advanced for their lifetime. They had been looped so many times, then that's why they were so accepting of it. Is that what that is?
That is so deep, but that is so many different answers, though, Malika, because you can go down so many different directions in the streets with that. Because off of it being the LGBT community alone,
Mm-hmm.
because of so many um kind of situations that everybody has gone through differently. But then again, it really and truly makes you think because I'm also thinking like, y'all know how when you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you you have too much estrogen or you have too much testosterone in your system. We as male and female have that already. So sometimes, in regards to the looping, your body is only going to be able to be comfortable with what it is already is within your vessel. So if you come back as, I'm just going to name Rhonda, but you really Mark, honey, Rhonda is running rapid inside of your vessel.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it's like
Mhm.
making me think, because my mother had a miscarriage before she ended up getting pregnant with me. So
Oh,
there could very well have been all types of things going on.
My mom did too.
That's crazy. Now I'm like, I'm over here thinking, I'm like, miscarriage, then me. So could this actually be?
Mm.
That's so deep. That's so deep to me because
hmm.
it even makes me think. I consider individuals who I never like the word tribal, but it's the only fitting word that my basic human interpretation can gather. But the when you look at the tribal people, right, the original people, there are these tribes that they revere individuals who we would consider homosexual or not homosexual but transgender. Like they're the most beautiful boys that you have ever seen in your entire days, and they give reverence to them. They consider them from a gift from the gods, from the
Yes.
deities, because they
Mhm.
are the perfected version of human because they're perfectly
They're
balanced.
balanced.
Right. And I feel like
See, now you're
the
talking about
tribal
split.
people, the tribal individuals, the indigenous, let me say that, right? The indigenous who are still living within the essence of
Yes.
that, they
Mhm.
have not been conditioned away from original thinking and original thought and natural thought. So being that they revere that, what are we missing in regards to what we've been conditioned away from? What are we missing why they would be living in that manner,
Because
giving
they're
reverence?
counterparts. We're counterparts. And if they have split you because you are soul and spirit, you are human and kakusa.
Mm.
And
Mm.
see, and that's so wild because it's like you're
There's
human.
parts of you that are missing.
It's you're human and Kakusa, but then you're also masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
Which is when you look at yourself and you are one of my titties is longer than the other one of my legs is shorter than the other one. You know what I'm saying?
But do y'all
Nobody's
see
perfect.
now where they're trying to demasculize? Is that even a word?
Mm-mm.
Demasculize? Is that a
Emasculate,
word?
Hey, you
emasculate,
using it? You
emasculate.
using it? It's a word. If you
And you
using
make
it,
it
it's a
right.
word. Okay.
It is
We
what it
can
is
we
at
can
this
use it.
point.
We make our own language. So say it.
Listen,
Demasculize. What happens?
listen, demasculate. So I'm thinking, because now the era of men is being able to understand and appreciate their feminine, like being a little bit more emotional to certain situations and not being so aggressive towards them sometimes. So learning how to be able to speak in certain dynamics to really kind of show yourself like it's okay to be a little bit more looser, because everybody looks at a man as strong, mighty. You have to be but it's great to see the balance. You
But
know what I'm saying?
why do you think that is though? Like why do you think
It's
that now
helpful.
it's why do you think
It's
that now they're stepping in the light where they can express their femininity and
You're
put
not gonna clank them beads on your microphone like
yeah,
this,
yeah, I
and
couldn't
be
hear nothing
knocking me
that
in
you were
my face
saying.
every
Because why
five
do
oh
you
my
minutes.
think
bad.
because why do you think
Let me.
Click clack, click clack.
But no, but why do you think that that is though? Like who do you think is helping men step into that? Do you think they're just taking the initiative to do it, or do you think that there's an audience that is
I honestly
allowing
think
them or
it
making
is
it
it
okay for them to express themselves?
it's the woman for me. I think. I honestly think that, because I
Can
look
I?
at
Can I?
Malika.
I got something to
No,
say. I got something to
no,
say.
No,
no.
it's self first with the masculine. He has to be open to receiving.
Oh wait,
I
hold
can
on.
Mm-hmm.
I misheard the question. I
You
thought he was
thinking
about
plug
what?
and socket.
Look, oh, he just said the plug and socket thing, QuaTiterrrr, connection versus attachment. Okay, sorry. Um, and he has to be open to it. I could punch at walls all day. I could pour sprinkles and sugar and cookie on him. All it's self first. If he is not open to receiving that message,
You're gonna just be
then
talking to a brick wall.
it's not going to happen. It's just you now working against doing the work with yourself because you fighting with a cycle that's never ending and not probably going to go in your favor until he's ready for that. So it's self first, and then the feminine has a lot to do with those dynamics of sitting down and taking the time to have the compassion within those conversations when he's more of a ruffian, as
Mm-hmm.
I would call it. The
Right.
feminine then sits in and says, okay, but doesn't this feel good? Let me teach you what gentle feels like. And I
Mm.
feel like that becomes so much of an experience that it's as if you become that. Even when you think about sexuality, not sexuality of the deities, because that is beautiful, like rose petals and foreheads of forehead and uh, uh, anyway, but sexuality in
On
physical form,
task.
when you think about it, there's even masculine and feminine within that. You have those times when you just want to have it rough and like turn me around, put my hair back, do all of that. And then you have the other eye to eye connection where it's making love. That's your masculine and your feminine. So it's self first, then the partner, and then comes the balance. But even through the balance with each other, the work has to it has to continue individually. You agree with that, babe?
Can I bring
You
in a
wasn't paying
different
attention to me.
aspect? That I agree with everything that's being said, but I was just thinking as y'all was talking, and I'm seeing something also. Say, for example, that somebody is in a relationship
Mm-hmm.
and they are you looking at them like, why is she babying this grown ass man? She trying to raise a man. Could it be that that was her son in a past life?
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh my
I can see
Or
that.
goodness.
could it be that she's just connected to mother energy because that's what women do anyways, which is nurture. That is
I'm saying if
second
we
nature to
are
women.
circled back around,
She talking
because
about closing
it's
out
almost
loops.
like I feel like that's my
Oh,
soulmate. We were like we're meant to be, but this
yes.
person is not acting. Well, he thinks I'm his mama. Well, maybe the fuck you are.
You is. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because you said that. When I see you do a lot of readings, a lot of the connections from people are because they were they have been following each other throughout lifetimes, like the same souls, like whether it's son, mother, brother, sister, they've been following each other around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yes, yes.
I connect with that so much, QuaTiterrrr, because there was a reading that we got years ago where they said that in one lifetime I was the grandmother of Ro. And with you saying that with the mom and having mom energy and babying the husband, but really this was your child in a previous life, it made so much sense to me because I never really babied Ro. Like we don't do that with each other, but I would never give up on him. And that's usually a grandparent energy. Like even when the parent steps away, the grandparent is like, nah, I got to step in and beyond any fault, and which he's done for me as well. It's been absolutely reciprocated, but beyond any fault, I just would not give up. I cannot. And there were times where I even was like, I don't know why, but I cannot give up on this. I cannot give up on you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I refuse to walk away. So I resonate with that completely. I have a question though for you, Governess.
Okay.
When you say to us, because when you said it just a moment ago, and I've heard you say that before, that we are that portion of us that is Kakusa, right? Would that then be the masculine?
I
And then
do
the other
believe.
part is the feminine because
I
I'm
do
thinking
believe.
Adina and Yehuda.
Yes, I do believe
Okay.
that. I believe that in totality. I believe your soul is your feminine side and your spirit is your masculine side. And when you get angry, the first thing, if you anything like Quatita, I'd be like, like, you have to turn into something in this motherfucker. I don't know what it is, but my
Yes.
monster is about to bust out this bitch. Like,
Yes.
I think that's what you're feeling because you're used to being able to shape, shift, and turn, and you can't. So it's just like a reaction, like, but it's not coming out. So they got to calm the fuck down.
Okay, because I be shaking in some more shit. Nerves be
Enough
bad
to
as
stir
fuck.
something up in the motherfucker.
And you did say Mother Dina's not the one to tangle with, and that is, baby, you do better going to ask your Huda than ask me. So
Yes.
that makes a lot of sense. Because again, all of the women, all of the feminine energies of each of the counterparts, they all don't play.
I just want to bring it back to what you all were talking about before this, when you were talking about like living different lives with the same souls.
Mhm.
So it was this book I read. It was called Many Lives, Many Souls, or I can't remember the exact name of the book, but that book broke down everything. It was a psychologist who wrote the book. So I'm gonna have to get that book information, but that broke down
And it's called
I,
what?
many. I think it's called Many Souls, Many Lives.
We should get
I
that
have
and do a
something to
book club.
That's
Let
very
me see. Let me
specific.
find it. Let me.
I do have
Yes,
something to
the
go
book
along with that.
club.
Uh,
I
I
think we
agree.
should do a book club.
Yes, that book is so good.
I did
It's
have
by
read an article. Some I'll go ahead. Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, there was an article I read some many years back where it was a shaman that went into a psych ward, and when he went and walked through there, when he came out, they asked him, "Well, how did you feel?" And he said, "I felt very sad." And they said, "Why?" And he said, "Because this is what the point of a shaman was, is because these people in here, the child think are crazy, are not. They're trapped in many lives, all in one body, and a
Mm,
shaman is the one that's supposed to come through and actually set them right." He's like, these people in here are not crazy. They're living many of their lives all at the same time. So that's the reason why they say stuff the way they do. He was like, but
mm,
Western society made it look like it's a bad thing. So that's the reason why you got so many people walking around and they don't know stuff because they're living all their lives in one time in one body and they don't have a shaman to get everything in order.
okay, I found the
I
book.
read that in an article.
It's called Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss. Oh, you got it.
Mm.
He has another one, Same Soul, Many Bodies.
Yeah,
So now
that okay. See, that's the
I
one I
want the
was
whole
talking
quote.
about.
Okay, there's two of them. He has
Yep,
Same
but
Souls,
then
Many
there's yep,
Bodies, and Many Lives, Many Masters.
yep.
And Jonathan,
I know, right?
that's I just said it, multiple personality disorder. Imagine how that
Yes.
fits into that.
The movie
Because we're
Split put me on that.
Yes.
The movie
Mm,
Split.
mm.
Because when I watched it, it changed everything about multiple personalities. Like that's literally a bunch of bodies in one body. So yeah, no, I'm with you on that one.
But Jonathan, even when I was around people that had special needs or were, around that, I never considered them to be that because a lot of these people that they claim medically on paper are, you know, out of, whack or whatever. These people are so intelligent. They can do
Mm-hmm.
better stuff than people that actually have the common sense.
Yeah,
So I
But
it's
honestly, I don't see them as different. I just see them as, like you said,
see,
like,
but
yeah, it
you
makes
got to think
sense.
about it though. That's Western. That's Western medicine that is diagnosing these people. That's
Yes.
why he was saying you need a shaman. That ain't Western medicine. That's old power in my brain.
mm,
Mm.
So
Um,
there was a documentary that I watched, and it was talking about like how in the 30s, I want to say like the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, how they used to put people in mental wards because they had abilities, like how governors have abilities,
mm-hmm.
and they either they will put them in mental asylums or they will basically they will have them have the priest perform like exorcisms and stuff on them because they thought it
mhm.
was of the devil
Oh
or
yeah.
that they
Mm-hmm.
weren't
Brain
right.
shot.
But yeah, and I was always thinking like, okay, which one is it? Is it that they're not right or are they possessed? They
Mm.
didn't know, but I don't think they cared. I think I feel like what was most threatening to them was being that a lot of these particular gifted people were not in the in crowd. And if they're not in the in crowd, then it's like if you're not with me, you're against me kind of thing. So if we can't pull you in, you have so many opportunities to tell people what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
I
It's
believe
like
it's a
Stranger
Especially if
Things.
they
mixture.
were to
I'm sorry.
befriend us.
I think it's a mixture of things because I believe it's some of what Guide is saying. I believe it's some of what Jonathan is saying. Like you are in tapped in tune with many lives, many versions, many
Mhm.
dimensions. You're seeing things that you wouldn't readily see with your eyes, and you're seeing it. Your mind can't register it because you were told that it's not real. So therefore, you don't even know what to do with that thought. So you're continuing to split inside of your mind and becoming more and more fractured or split inside of your mind. So now you laughing, walking, talking to somebody, and they like that bitch crazy. No, you just talking with a few motherfuckers. Like you
Do
just
you
can't see that shit.
Do you also think that a bit of escapism has something to do with it as well? Like when you're living in a reality that's not basically nurturing your soul, your spirit. So it's like you have to run away to something else, but then
Mhm.
you end up splitting and then
Yes.
constantly splitting because maybe this ain't working. Okay, now
Gratitude.
you
Yeah,
have
because your
the
mind can't
movie.
take
Yes.
it. Like say
It
you grow up being abused.
That's what I was just about to say.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I when I get mad, besides the deities, when I get mad, I wake back up and I've done things. You understand what I'm saying? It's like
Mhm.
another personality that's taken over because it had to from different molestations and rape and abuse that I experienced. You know what I'm saying? So we are an open vessel able to receive and give energy. And so, yes, the deities and the ancestors, they are all inside. And a lot of like you come out of yourself because say for example I'm in this situation and I have been abused and now I can't take it. How do I know that it's not another part or version of myself that now steps in and puts me to sleep? Now bitch, knuckle up.
Mm,
It's time to
mm,
knuckle up. And it's like, who was that? That wasn't you, bitch. Yes, it was. It was a
mm.
different version of me that put me to sleep and took over the vessel. Like, let's work.
And then is it another version of you or is it the Kakusa that's like,
That's what I'm
okay,
saying.
bitch, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
So I want to give gratitude guided for the term that you just gave because Aubrey and QuaTiterrrr, I'm not sure, Donna, I think you were on there earlier too. On my live, we had presented questions to my, well, yeah, I presented questions to my son. And what he explained is exactly what you just gave the terminology for, which is
Mm-hmm.
escapism.
Escapism.
So
Mm,
even to those who are in the comments, I really want us to pay attention to that because as QuaTiterrrr just broke that down, that's a severe case. But a lot of our children, a lot of our babies are experiencing this. And we
Yes.
don't even
mhm,
see it because we think we have a healthy situation when it's really toxic. And the way that he had explained it, when I asked, why is it that so many within your generation look so sad in their eyes? And
Mm-hmm.
he said, it's because we get to a point where we don't feel accepted in our own house, in our own space with our family. And I'm
mm,
Yes, he did.
saying words for him in a sense, but gratitude, Aubrey, for
mhm,
confirming that.
No, yeah,
He
he did
said,
say that.
he
mm.
said, and so we then have to escape. We feel the need to
Hmm.
escape. And the only thing that's set up for us to escape to is
The
TikTok and
internet.
the internet.
Mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
it's not good for us either. So they're running away from what doesn't feel good to what's really fucked up.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Mm.
Hmm.
gratitude for escapism and for this conversation coming back up again. So anyone who is watching knows to make sure you're looking for those switches. Look for the changes in
Mm.
the eyes and the demeanor for when that moment is happening that QuaTiterrrr was just explaining. Oh,
Yeah, because
it's
you
so
Question.
don't know
deep.
what somebody's feeling or thinking. You know what I mean? Like they
Right.
could be looking at you like a swarm. This bitch is just
Mm.
looking at them regular and got up and took a flower pot and cracked it in the head and killed them and then ate some shit. Like you don't know what the fuck is happening.
Can I just say gratitude for that live earlier, Malika, because
Please do.
it literally, and I am 28, okay? I was in
Life
that
changing.
vehicle about to veer off the road because of so many points you were hitting in regards to just the conversation. It was so
Mm-hmm.
good. And when he came in and he really broke it down in the way of how they think right now in today's society, us finding out that when we did have a childhood, going outside, playing on our bikes, making sure we're in the house before the street lights come on, they have none of that.
No.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Mm-mm.
That's the aha moment for me today. And gratitude, Aubrey, for that, because I don't hit the live button. That's why Rose said you on your own live when the question when I told them that I was live. Um, and I'm so happy that you all were able to be there as well.
Yes.
That was the the aha. Ooh, babe, I might
I
slip
am
now.
not a hoe.
Look, but that was the aha moment for me
Yes.
because I realized that that is also part of what is being created as far as the powers that be. We had something when it came to our escapism, those moments, we had healthy things to escape to. They
Yes.
have none of that. There's
Nothing.
no, I don't even hear children in the neighborhood anymore.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
can't
used
get
to
mine to
open
go
your
outside.
windows. Like, look, and you know what though? It's interesting because it's safer that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't even know how many babies have been attempted abductions, how many Amber
Mm-hmm.
Alerts are going off. Like they can't even feel okay
Let me
being
tell you something.
outside.
I got
Mm-hmm.
one in here right now that want to go be outside all the time, and I'm just like, what you going outside for? What's outside? I just don't want him to go nowhere. And mind you, I don't have no kids. You know what I'm saying? But this is my child, so I get like overly worked up emotionally over my nieces and nephews. But I feel you on that one because yes, like what's outside, child? Go in there and watch some TV or something, some
But you
documentary or
know what,
something that you
God,
can
and
watch.
I'm gonna tell you what's outside. What is outside is the imagination of life.
Come on.
Because as a
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
child, honey, my roadmaster bike was my Benz Suburban
Right.
The skate.
Yes.
I
Escalade.
was driving
Uh-uh.
on skate.
Okay, I
I was
remember going
I
over
was a
my friend girl's
superhero many
house.
times.
No, and we would ride, and she was like, "I got my 2-month-old baby in the back seat." Girl, what? You 9 years old? Why is you talking about a baby? But I remember the joy I had as being free and just being able to be a child
That's
in
the
that
point.
moment.
They
Yes.
stolen it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
It's
Yes.
childhood
and that's
outside.
why I said what
Outside
I
is
said
childhood.
because it's the environment that's being created and it's ever evolving right now. So it's like to us, the older ones who know better, it's on us to do our due diligence when we have these impressionable, offspring near us. We have to like pour to them and show them what it really is because for a long time, parents do kind of paint uh, a reality that is not the reality, and sometimes it leads children to
Scared to death.
it leaves them either scared to death or it leaves them susceptible or it puts them in a place where they can be harmed because
Mm-hmm.
they're not sure how to see their exits. If this ain't right, you need to be going here. But some people and their children, they'll be like, well, I'm not gonna tell my child that because my child's gonna live a normal life. But what makes you think that the life that we live in is normal? This isn't normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do that to mine because my mom didn't do it to me. I was raised by all women, so my
Mm-hmm.
father wasn't around. So my mom taught me where to go, what to look for, how to pay attention to people. She didn't really teach me the reading part of reading people, using my intuition. I learned that over time, but I've been teaching my daughter since I've had her full time for the past 5 years of all the stuff that I wasn't taught, including the stuff that I was taught. So I understand what you're saying. It's hard for me to get her to stay outside, to walk around in the grass to, get that energy out.
Child, you
But if
tell
I'm
them
out
not to go
Mm-hmm.
there,
outside. They're like,
she'll
what's
be out there.
outside?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. They can't even figure out how to play with nothing. I'm like, really? I just needed
So that's
sticks.
That's why I was
Yeah.
going to say to Aubrey when she mentioned the imagination of outside. Aubrey, please hold on to that when you have your children, because I think what it is we will
Yes.
tell a child every day, you need to slow down, stop trying to grow up so fast, but then we will break every piece of them that is childhood.
Right.
Like Roe is so much better at that than I am, because Nye and Elijah, they, well, Elijah, he's more to himself now, but Nye, she's outside all day. Like, she wants to go build castles with like the
Yes, so
stones and stuff.
beautiful. I'm
You
sorry.
Yeah.
know, like, but a part of that is, and I do not take credit for this at all, because mommy is an introvert. I don't like, I'll go outside for the purpose of going outside. I'm very much my son, but Ro will play within that imagination. I will, like I had said before, when we got the VR and she wanted to see, Elijah got one, and she wanted to see what it looked like. And for me, I would just put it on her and be like, okay, here. And I probably put on National Geographic, let her sit with the lions or whatever the case is. Ro, put her on the roller coaster in the VR, got the computer chair, set a fan up in front of the computer chair, and had I look in the kitchen and she's got these goggles because it's too big for her head. So she's holding them to her face, and he rocking the chair like, which way, left,
That
right,
is
and the
so
wind is
cute.
blowing in her face. But that is that
I
feeling
love
that you're
that.
talking about, bringing the
Mm-hmm.
manifesting energy into reality so that they know there's more than just
Yes.
what's in this space, and
Mm.
letting them hold on to that for as long as possible. There's nothing wrong with a 13 or 14-year-old that has dreams outside of what we think is really possible. That's not yours to shut down. That's not yours to take from them. Listen, when I went back and listened to my third grade talent show, I looked at my parents and I was like, y'all are the biggest liars on this planet, because how dare you allow me to go up and sing Hero by Mariah Carey a whole nother
Oh,
time?
Oh wow.
And it sounded like Zero by Mariah Furry. Like, but
But
they
look
never
now.
they never broke my spirit.
Yes.
And so I was able to refine it in the confidence of the validation of my parents, because I didn't even know how to validate myself at that time. But absolutely, look at the vocals that present themselves now. So do whatever you can to not break that within them, because I take
mm.
responsibility. I don't always go the extra mile to make sure the manifesting energy is at capacity like Ro does with the babies. Yeah, that's all I
Well,
wanted
that's
to
why
say.
it makes y'all a great team.
And what
Mm-hmm.
does
Gratitude.
that look like? Because even me, again, as an uncle, I feel like I'm still learning. Because again, like I say, I don't have kids, but I'm seeing so many other things take place, and I know like a lot of the conversations that I try to have with children, my mama never had with me.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's like I'm trying to fill gaps, but then at the same time, I do feel like a bit of what you just said. I do feel like I kind of crush certain things, but not in the aspect where I'm just saying like, well, don't even get your mind set up for it because you ain't gonna be able to do it. Not in that sense. It's in the sense where it's like go ahead, play ball, do this, but don't get too caught up in don't get too caught up in the scouts and all that type of stuff, because if you don't have the right people behind you making sure that you are okay and know exactly what's going on, then it's like you can become one of what we see and what we talk about
Pessimistic.
when we're having the conversation or we're doing the walk with crimes.
Mm.
I
It's
think
just
that's
it's kind of hard,
I think
and
that's when you
I have
tap
an issue with letting go. So
I think that's when you tap into charming, into your inner
Mm-hmm.
charming.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying earlier, when I grow up, I want to be just like her,
Yes.
because it's the adventures that she creates. So you may feel like, as a parent, as an uncle, because uncles, aunts are parents. If you're raising a child in any way, shape, or form, you're a parent. I mean,
period.
you may not have had the full experience, but you a parent. And some of y'all are doing it better than us, or will come to us and be like, because you're on the outside, you can be like, hey, you need to get it together. You acting a little stressed with my baby. And we need to hear that sometimes. But what Quatita just said was beautiful when she said it's a great balance between Ro and I, because I'm that parent guided. Like, we gonna watch true crime series together. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you the alerts. I'm gonna show you the things to look
Mhm.
out for. And then Ro creates the imaginative. He's the one that's like, we need to go to the mountains and walk. Although I've been recently wanting to visit many of them. Ro will be like, let's let's go like to Stone Mountain when we were in Georgia, and let's just go walk and enjoy that. So you have that balance. If you feel as a guide, right, that this space is not safe for them, make them aware of that. I pulled up the pedo map for Elijah when he was in school, so he would know, hey, if you ever decide to skip school and go hang out with your friends, know that they all live right at the brink. Like, you're not allowed, when you're a registered offender, you're not allowed to live within a certain amount of space
Hmm.
between the school and,
Mm-hmm.
like, whether it's 3 miles or 5 miles. And if you pull up the map, you'll see that they're all living on that cusp, a majority of them, as close as they can. He's a Sagittarius and I'm a Cancer. I know you ain't asked about me, Trina, but I'm gonna talk about myself.
Malika, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, love.
When you were talking about that and you went into between you and Ro and the imagination, I honestly feel that me having an imagination changed my life
Mm,
because I was
Me too.
able to imagine what my life would be. I was ready. I'm like, you know what? I can be this, I can be that. That was when I felt the freest. Going
that's
Me
because
too.
our
outside.
that's because our imagination is connected to our purpose. It's the
Mm.
key to what it is that you were meant to do. And that's why you're conditioned away from it, and your parents are conditioned to condition you away from it. Because those are the moments when you don't put any limitations on yourself. There's no self-doubt, there's no limiting beliefs, there's none of that. And sorry, QuaTiterrrr, guided. When you have those spaces, just view it out and let baby know this. Listen, I'm following my intuition, and we all have this. And that's when you get to have that lesson in it. There's something about the energy here that feels a little bit off. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our own adventure. And then you have to tap into your inner charming and now create those adventures. So if there's something that he wants to be a part of where they're roasting marshmallows, hey, get that outside grill, get a tent, even though you're not going camping, set that tent up and go in the back and roast marshmallows, eat s'mores, and tell scary stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do those things. So that's how you would feed both. Okay, gratitude.
It's really fun too. I had a fireplace and we couldn't go outside at the apartment, but I
You
always made sure no matter where I live, I had a fireplace in my apartment. And my daughter wanted, she's like, Daddy, you know what? I want some s'mores. So I went to the store, got everything, and we roasted them suckers right there on the fireplace
Nice.
because she thought that would be a really fun thing. So I completely understand what you're saying. And I've been working on that because, man, coming from a 50-50 parent to a full-time parent, we both had our stuff because she's been through stuff. She had to grow up really fast. And my whole thing was trying to keep her to be a kid because she didn't get to be one. You know what I'm saying? And now she's got her YouTube channel at 14, and I had to cut her off for spring break. And she was like, "Oh my God, this week is just so long." I was like, "God, you sound like your father who's a workaholic." And she's like, I'm like, just find something to do. Take a nap, watch a movie. And then as soon as it came back around, she didn't got so many things for her channel. And she created like 20 new characters that she couldn't stop drawing for 2 days straight. But I was like, that's the whole point of taking a break. Don't be like me, because it's really hard for me to stop. And those are important lessons. But yeah, if you're an uncle, yeah, you're like a parent too, because they're gonna be coming to you when they can't talk to them about stuff.
That is absolutely true. Oh my
That
goodness.
is, yeah, I do. I feel that, but what makes it kind of hard, and me, I don't care because I'm still gonna say what I need to say, and I'm gonna do what I need to do, right? But I'm always met with the conversation of, well, you don't know because you don't got no kids, but you forgot that I'm raising this one with you.
Okay, now hold on really quick. You got to back up off of that one a little bit and just understand that that's parent trauma. Okay, give us some grace in that moment, because a lot of times it hurts to know that we do all of these things for our babies, and yet the credit is given to outside sources.
True.
And so when those outside sources then affirm the feelings that you're having, where you're looking for opposition in that, like, please just tell me something nice. Um, it creates a trigger. And so
Well,
that's
you kill the
something,
messenger.
you know,
But
it's
you,
not even
but you
it,
know
but
something. I get what you're saying. Yes, I agree with that. I don't feel like that applies to me when I
mm,
am the one when I feel like I'm the infrastructure that's making sure that you're not disrespected.
mm-hmm,
Hold on, you talking
Mm.
under your breath? What my sister tell you to do?
mm,
She only
no,
got to tell you once. I'm that type of uncle. I put in discipline and I'm very assertive and I make sure that everybody respected grandma, mother, sisters. You're never gonna
I see.
disrespect them. That's the
That
type of
part.
uncle I am. So when I'm
And I
voicing
love
my
that.
opinion, it's because I have perspective. So if I'm saying something like, look, you right, I ain't got no child, but I was a child. So I do have experience that I can share. And
Oh,
even though we grew up in the same house, our childhood wasn't the same.
mm-hmm.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when I'm seeing something that's familiar to me or something registered to me in my spirit, I'm gonna let you know, like, well, I feel like you need to be doing this. And then I feel like if you want to argue about it, I guess we're gonna argue about it because I'm still gonna say what I need to say. But you heard what I
Sorry.
said. This
I'm
baby needs some vitamins.
sorry.
That's
I'm
what I
yelling
keep
at
doing.
QuaTiterrrr to turn her mic back on because she had her finger up, and I wanted to hear the advice that was
Yeah,
coming
go ahead.
in regards to what you were about to say. Please.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, all I was gonna say, because you made me think of my mom, because you said sometimes your imagination is connected to your purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
I, growing up, I had imaginary friends, and they were my friends, but my mom never made me feel weird about it. And so, as an adult, I realized I was playing with the souls of children, because they had like real life issues. And I'm thinking, as an adult, why would I say these things as a child? And so I saw how I'm being molded for the work that I do right now. My mom never made me feel weird about it. If my imaginary friends wanted to come over, she would put plates out for them, which I now understand is offerings. You know what I mean? I just was thinking about that when you said that. So that's what I was going to say.
Mm,
That is so deep. Y'all gonna
very.
Right.
me down this hole, okay?
Let me tell you, you don't even know how many times my eyes done welled up during this conversation because I be in my emotions, but I ain't cried in so long. Like my eyes are watered up, but the tear won't fall. But I don't know. I guess I just be too strong or something. But but yes, I agree with everything. I'm taking notes because again, as an uncle, being the one who like raised them from 2 to 3 years old, and then they go off and they come back. Like I still have an issue with like letting go. Like even with my sisters, I have an issue with letting go because I'm like, okay, we all grown now. I don't have to always be like the big brother, like the protector, because I can't protect them from everything.
But
But
got it. As long as you don't stifle, and that's the point of me saying what I was saying,
right.
because as long as you don't stifle, because had my mom would have stifled, I would have never felt confident enough, no matter what nobody else said, to stand in my truth of what I know. There are ancestors that are speaking to me. And if I didn't stand in my truth, then I would not be able to do what it is that I do now. And how do we know what we haven't been trained to do that, to put the deities back to sleep?
Mm. Mm. That was
You and those
ooh,
beads.
Absolutely.
that was deep.
That goes back, like that's us being conditioned to condition them away from what they were meant to be.
Be exactly.
And it
Okay,
happens like
got
that
it.
with every generation. But then you have those breakthrough individuals, those breakthrough beings like QuaTiterrrr, who was accepted in that way, in such a loving way, like how my parents never forced me to go to church, or they wanted me to have my own ideas. And so I feel open to communicate loudly and be okay with that, and know that what I'm saying is going to assist and be in love. You have the breakthrough beings that will come through, and that's how evolution continues in regards, because okay, think about it. Let's, even when it comes to music, right? The generation prior to ours thought our music was crazy, but you
True.
had those individuals who were supported, and their parents was like, nah, I don't care what none of my friends are saying, like, baby, go on that stage. And so that created new dynamics. However, what I'm seeing is a tendency of the parents who are accepting, it's ones who are engaging in being okay with not so great behaviors. Like the parents who have children who are in the music industry now, who they know that they're on drugs, and they're not pulling an Amy Winehouse dad and going on the news and saying, do not support my child, do not buy their music, because my child is using that money to get drugs, and they're going to pass off. Now what it is the moms are the ones that are releasing the records of their babies who just died from an overdose or just died from depression or just died from this. And now they're running the records and selling the apparel and doing all of those things to continue getting the financial abundance. So
Mhm.
I think it's really sad to think about, but that's why we have to ensure that we are cultivating the breakthrough beings where
Mm-hmm.
we're able to analyze what society is telling us shouldn't be and be like, okay, but wait a minute. I'm not just going to accept what I'm hearing because they're saying it, because we already know most of the times the right version is the opposite of what we're being told, right?
True.
So you take your 2 seconds and then you sit with your baby and you hear your baby and you allow your baby to teach and guide you in what it is they want to do. And you stand back, you give them the opportunity to be within that themselves, but you stand there as security, just as the ancestors do for us. I have been in some shitty situations where my intuition told me, do not go there, do not show up. And I still went. And there was enough,
Mhm.
time had slowed down just enough within that moment for me to know something is about to happen. I need to move. So the same way that the ancestors do that with us and still allow us free will, we see it with Yehuda and QuaTiterrrr all the time. When he's like, all right, go ahead and do it if you want to. When he put us on the toilet after choosing Starbucks, like
Mm.
these these are the ways as parents, though. It's so serious, the dynamic of it, where you are guided, but you are not stepping in and taking over their journey. And when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me because I'm about to go apologize to my babies for the third time today based on this
Mm.
conversation.
It's very hard though. It is
It
very,
is.
very hard to do that. You have to check yourself all the time because my daughter has done a lot of stuff that I used to do. She's picked up things that I've never told her about that I used to do. And probably the most vivid one was I gave her a bath. She was 3 years old, had her all looking all cute, had her little PJs, put her in the bed. I go downstairs. I heard a voice in my head say, "Go upstairs." I go upstairs. She's got poop everywhere. She's got it in
Mm.
her clothes. She's got it in the sheets. She's got it in her hair. She's got it somewhere on her face. And she's been playing with it. And I lose my mind. I take all of her clothes, the sheets and everything, get her a bath, put her in new stuff. And I was like, am I gonna wash this? And then I said, hell no. I threw all that shit in the dumpster. And then I called my mom and I was flipping out and she laughed. And I was like, what's so funny? She's playing with poop. She was like, you did the same thing. Anger instantly slammed all the way to the ground.
Mm.
And anytime I feel like I'm too worked up about something, I call my mom because 9 times out of 10 I did it too. She said I was gonna get it back one day because I really was a wild kid. So
Mm.
uh I'm definitely getting it all back. So no, you right. I apologize to mine a lot too. Yeah, you gotta suck it up.
Mm.
I
I
love
think
those
it's
moments where
important to
the
learn to apologize because I have a problem with doing that sometimes. But um, when you look at them after you yell, my heart breaks. And so I'm learning from Malika to apologize to my children because I see you do it often. So gratitude.
Mm.
I
I show
think
gratitude to everybody. Tita, Leak. I show much gratitude for what y'all told me. Everybody on the panel because I've been trying to figure this out for a minute. So I took notes tonight.
Mm.
Major notes. Gratitude.
Yeah. My problem was my daughter is older. So when she turned 18, it was like so hard for me to see her as a woman compared to seeing her, as my little girl that's like 4 years old. And it was hard.
I can get that part because mine's just 27 and 26. Well, Toddy will be 26 on the 29th of April. And this is just now where I'm coming. Like, even today, I'm calling her and we had talked. And as soon as I hung up, I remembered I wanted to tell her something else. So I called right back. And she didn't answer. So I didn't call like 6 times. But in my mind, like, did something happen that quick? Is she okay? And the spirit said, your daughter is being a woman right now. And when I finally called back, I called back for
Mm.
the sixth time. I said, was you doing it? She was like, yeah. Oh, I mean, stop calling my fucking phone. I'm fucking. I
Ow,
be
ow, oh. Yeah. I don't
Oh,
even let that even pop in my head. To me, that's
Right.
the equivalent of women using the number two. I know y'all do it, but I don't even think about it. I act like y'all don't do it at all. I can't. Yeah,
what
some
people?
images I can't let pop in there.
I people boo.
I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. In
You know,
my adult life,
a healthy woman boo
That.
boos three
it would
times
mess
a
up a
day.
lot of things, governess, and I can't. I can't get in that. I don't want to be in that headspace. I'm good.
Jonathan, a healthy woman boo boos 3 times a day. So just try to ignore it 3 times.
Nope.
It's so funny to me.
Nope, she
Look,
doesn't poop at all. You're lying.
just holds
Hey,
it in.
they all Kim Jong Un in my brain. They
I
don't.
know
They
her
don't do
stomach
that at
hurt.
all. That just doesn't happen.
Oh my God. You sound like my cousin. When we were younger, he used to be like, do pretty girls use the bathroom?
That's because a lot of these women out here will hold their shit for 2 days just to make a motherfucker think they don't shit. Listen, get out, cause I got to go pee boo boo. Get out of here.
You
Go in
ain't
the
even
other
got to get
room.
out. Make your own decision. I mean, I'm married. I've been with
No,
a man
I'm
for a
out.
very long time.
Yeah, see,
I
you've
don't care
been
if we
married
was
for a
married
very
30
long
years. I'm
time.
gone. I'm
I don't even
gone.
want you by this door. Don't come to this door. Don't try to open this door. If you do, you got to get out. I'm not
Listen,
kidding.
the day of the
No.
Starbucks, do you remember when I was
That
talking to
was
you and
funny.
I was like, I gotta go use the bathroom, and I like called you afterwards, and all I heard was Ro come in and the door slam, and I was like, is he in here? And I was like, oh no, he's not in here. That was a sign to be like, this is not one of those moments where I love you. This is
I
not.
love you, honey. Period.
I just feel like if you can't be open with that person, who can you be open with? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Do women have any of those things about men that we like convince ourselves? No, they don't do that. No, right?
Mm-mm.
See,
Yes,
Because
but
I
you
hear
missing.
we do. We do. Yes, we do.
See,
tell
but
me,
you missing
friend.
the. You missing the
But
point
some
though.
people
Mm,
don't
so,
cheat.
You missing the point. I don't. I can't let that in my brain. You know what I'm saying? I can't. I know it's there, but like I said, in my adult life, things I can't accomplish if
So
I
if you
even.
think she shit, you can't eat her pussy no more.
Well, I can't do a lot of things,
Basically, that's what you're saying.
so I, I don't. I
It makes so
don't
much
let
more
that in
sense
my
now.
in my
Okay,
head. I know it's real. It happens,
guided.
but yeah, no. To me, it's been flown out.
It
I'm
makes.
like Hogwarts over here. I got the little wand pulling out the memory. So that's me.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Gratitude for the
mhm,
Mhm.
clarity.
mhm,
Governess, what were you saying that we do with men? Because I'm interested in hearing
We
that.
convince ourselves they don't cheat.
Whew.
mhm.
Well, I've convinced myself that Ro doesn't cheat. I told him if
Bro
you are a
doesn't
cheater,
cheat.
listen,
Right.
I like my
That's
mom
because you
is.
and Ro are not regular. Like y'all are not
I,
humans. Like y'all
I
are
don't
like,
cheat.
you
Listen,
know.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not a
know.
cheater
Y'all are
either.
on
That's
some
what you
different
saying
shit.
today.
No, never. No, that's not me. I only want one. I've never been a guy that could date a bunch of women at one time. I just want one woman at a time. I've always been that way.
Until you think about her pussy, and
Gratitude.
then you're gonna go cheat.
That's the one thing I ain't thinking about because
I'm
that's
gonna go
gonna
get
ruin
one that don't
everything.
cheat.
Go be
Donna,
by
try
myself.
it. Listen, Donna, when we first met, I don't want to put this on my Caribbean family, but I mean, Jamaican men have created a reputation for themselves, and I predominantly dated Caribbean men. And so by the time that I met Ro, and because we started off as friends, like we were friends for a minute. I mean, like talking shit about the people that we was talking to with each other. Like that was the end of the day conversation with the interest there, of course, but we just wanted to enjoy each other's presence before anything, before stepping
Hmm.
into anything else. Now, my rule for him when we transitioned into the relationship, I was like, listen, so when you cheat on me, right?
Dang.
I had rules. I was like, look, so when it happens, I need there rules to this. I need you to make sure she knows not to approach me in the street. I need you to ensure that she is aware not to call my
I
phone.
love
I
this
need her
story
to
because you
know,
really thought you was running some shit down.
Right.
Man.
like I had And Ro had looked at me and he was like, "What is wrong with you?" He said,
Right.
"Malika, have you been telling other men this? Like you're literally giving me permission to cheat." And he told me
Mm-hmm.
at that moment, he said, "I am going to prove to you." Man, you remember this? He's still not paying attention to me. He was like, "I am going to prove to you, like based off of you just saying that, it will never happen." And it's not like he hasn't been a cheater in previous relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And he has kept his word. My mom fully believes a lot of different things about men, but one of them is that, you know, they are cheaters. And she said, "I don't know what kind of level of like assassin he is, because
Assassin.
there's there's never any evidence." And I know, like, this can't be a man. You remember when Mama used to say that? She used to say that all the time, like, "What kind of cheater are you where you don't leave anything behind?" And then it got to a point where we were just both like, wow, this really does exist. Like, this does
Yeah.
exist. So Donna, it was more him than me, because I definitely started the relationship off hitting him with the parameters for excusable cheating.
I mean, the only image I saw in my head when you were saying that is Kevin Hart when girl was talking all crazy to him. He was like, "Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Are you done?"
He was
Oh
he
man.
was
See
shocked.
that.
I thought he was taking notes. Like, I thought that this was going to make it work. And that man he flipped it right on me. Yeah, absolutely not. How many people are you telling this to? That's how he is.
Man. He talked to you like you was a small child in
I
class.
needed it. I needed it in that moment, because my experience had created conditioning within me that was creating more trauma that I really didn't want, but was finding a way to cope with. And that's why I came up with
Mm.
those parameters. So that it's
Mhm.
kind of
So it
like when
didn't
people
hurt.
make, right. It's like when
Mm-hmm.
people make fun of themselves with about
Mm-hmm.
things that they know others make. They're like, well, at least I'm gonna tell the joke first. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it was that. So I
Mm.
appreciate and forever, eternally give gratitude to him for pulling me
Mm-hmm.
out of that space, because it was so necessary, so necessary, and for
Mhm.
keeping his word, because that's what matters even more. Because could you imagine if he did that and then he did do some stuff and I was like, "Oh, you a whole cheater, I'm going back to my room, sir."
And then the girl approaches you in the street, and all of the stuff you ran down to him happened.
This is
Like,
why we should have
yeah,
went over the rules. Exactly.
right.
Child, I can't take it.
That's a pretty big thing. I dated a couple of women and they said horrible things about me to their friends until I met them. And then when I met the friends, they were like, "Hold up, you a different guy, right?" And I'm like, "No, what are you talking about?" She said so many horrible things about you, but you're really cool. I actually like hanging out with you more than I like hanging out with her. I was like, "Oh, so you just spread lies about me for some apparent reason." But you know, people have their own biases and things that's happened to them before, so they get
What's
ahead of everything or try to
I'm
anyway.
sorry. I'm sorry. What's going on in the chat?
What happened?
What happened in the chat? Isn't that Mama Vet?
What happened?
Yeah, I can't see.
Oh, oh. Is Carbon sleep on his phone?
Carmen does this. He done this before.
What? Rising's trying to go back and clean up the mess.
Hmm. Let me see. I'm
Carbon,
have to go.
Carbon.
Carbon said, "My bad." Listen, this is my fear, because QuaTiterrrr will check us every time for this as a
Yes.
mod. When I put, because there's times when I grab my phone, and even when I'm watching the playbacks, the chat still allows you to touch and do things, and I'll forget and put it in my back pocket or walk, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, did I remove anybody?" Oh, okay. So we fixed it. Sorry about that, Mama Vet. Okay,
I did that
command.
before too.
Oh, because he was hiding people and shit.
Oh wow.
It said hidden,
Oh
hidden,
dang.
hidden, carbon muted, carbon.
Carmen just fell asleep again.
Yes.
Somebody call Carbon.
That baby be tired.
No, he's up now. He said, "My apologies." He said, "Y'all, my bad."
He
Chad's
said my
talking about.
bad.
Chad said, "Carbon might be asleep." LOL. Chad, you know he was asleep.
Just over there like,
Oh, that is so funny to me. I was looking at Kimberly's comment because I was scrolling up to see what happened. She had said something like "Don't date a vegan." Then I guess it might have just been a chat conversation. I don't know. I was trying to look, and that's me being nosy. That's when I saw it. But yeah, sorry, that sidetracked. My
That is
apologies.
funny.
I,
Wanted to
I
make
mean,
sure Mama Vet was
I
okay.
mean, what's trying to say? Vegans are cheaters? Is that what it is?
No, she's probably talking
I'm,
about the pooping
About
because
the
you
yeah.
know that's gonna
Um,
go through
oh,
your body quickly.
mm,
okay.
yeah,
Ooh.
it does. Oh my
And
god.
we have the vegan challenge coming up.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna do this one.
Yeah,
I need it. I'm gonna do it
you
too.
already damn vegan.
Yeah, but
I'm
I'm gonna try
definitely
to I'm gonna
not.
try to do it without the extra.
Okay.
Send me some recipes guided because you look like you could cook some real good vegan dishes. I feel like you got the
Well,
recipe. No?
my
I don't know. Not from
husband
his face. He
cooks.
making an odd look on his face right now.
Yeah,
Send me those recipes.
he cooks, but I'll be right there so I can tell you because he make this bomb vegan chili that is
I was
so
about to say
good.
he made some good vegan chili the other day. I was over there.
Veggie lasagna.
Mm.
I gotta
Hmm.
make some. I gotta
I
make
need all of
some
that,
so y'all can
please.
see because it is delicious. I'll call it ratatouille because it ain't no meat in it, but
You would be right too. You would be right.
Mhm.
So, are you creating a new chat for this new vegan challenge?
No, because it's free.
Okay. Oh, yay!
Yeah. I just want people to have the success of saying I lost 5, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, without the incentive of the money behind it like usual.
Hmm.
I want people to stand on their own truth. And if you want to lose the weight, then wait, let me stop because somebody said this the other day, not lose the weight, lose the fat.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yes.
So I
Hmm.
want to lose the fat.
Hmm.
Well, governors, I'm a diabetic and I have the Ozempic pen that these
We
celebrities
see
be using,
7 of them.
so I'm good.
I
Is this
need it.
is that what we were talking about before?
That's what Catherine. She
It's
got the
for diabetics.
Listen,
Majaro,
I'm pre
Manjaro.
I'm pre-diabetic, and I'm thinking of having a little extra sugar so I can get rid of
They're
them
giving it in
things.
some weight loss clinics. They're giving it
Look
for
at
Mm-hmm.
weight
that.
loss.
right. But then they
Yep,
say
and
like when
that's
you
why we had a hard time getting ours.
didn't they say though when you do it, it's you can never stop doing it.
It's people that stop. It's people
I
that
Oh,
stop.
don't
okay.
know, but it doesn't make you have an appetite. So that's
Mm.
Are
I
there are
need
y'all
it.
doing push-ups? Are there side effects? Not me turning around and Elijah and Ro are doing push-ups. Like, what are y'all trying to tell me? Um, the Are there side effects to this? Because I used to do HCG a long time ago. I used to manage an
mm,
HCG clinic, and that worked, but it worked a little too good. Like Malika ain't had no
mm,
booty. That's how much booty Malika, or how much weight Malika had
mm.
lost. Like, ooh.
So
But are there
you is
side
the
effects?
10 because all that ass ain't going nowhere.
Mm-mm.
Are there side effects, Quintina?
I'm not sure. I know I saw these, celebrities, and they're like super skinny. I don't know.
I'm getting some. Catherine's saving it for me. I'm taking
I always
And I
call
don't
you
know
the
how
skinny
Entertainment
I don't know
purposes
legend,
how often
only.
they
governess.
take it because you're only supposed to take it like once a week.
Yeah, you
So
take
I
it
don't
once a
know.
week and you can up the dosage like
Mm-hmm. Yep.
you know,
0.25 to point 0.5. Yeah.
yeah. Oh
Listen,
yes, I did some research on it. I need it no time.
Adderall did that for me, and I had lost so much weight because it cut my appetite
Adderall.
completely. When
I've
So
I'm
been
that
on
do that for a
on,
lot
Adderall
of
for the
people.
last 3 days.
you been what?
And that's why I'm working because I'm on Adderall.
Yeah, you'll stay up for 72 hours. Definitely.
I
Easy.
need,
What
I
has
gotta
been
get
your
my
experience
prescription
with
back.
it so far?
I break it into like fours or into thirds. But really I can feel when it kick in. It's like
Mhm.
I need to
Yep.
do I need to do that. Yes. But Yehuda, Yes. Okay, let me get up and clean up. I need some water. I'm so thirsty. I need some water, please. Where's the
It's
water?
called Ozempic.
Oh, yours
I'm
is
sorry, I was looking
Ozempic.
at the chat.
Cause I had got some, and I was thinking about.
You do not.
Send it to me, guided. You don't need it. Just send it to me. Just send it to me. And
Yeah,
you
send it
don't
to
need it.
us because we need it.
You don't need that. You don't need
Well,
it.
the
Listen,
thing is, I have been my sleeping schedule is like off. So like I don't sometimes I don't. Well, it feel like this week has been long, like a long week. I don't know if it's been like that for everybody else, but this week felt like it has been so long.
My
But I would go to sleep at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I have to be up at 5:30.
well, if that's the
Mm.
case, you'd have to be very strict with your schedule
well,
with
don't
taking
take
Mhm.
no
Adderall.
Adderall.
Right. You don't, because
Mhm.
Send
you're
me
supposed to
that.
take.
I took a nap. That's the thing, because when I've been getting off work, when I get off work, I get off at 2. I would go and sit in my bed, and I would go to bed till about like 6 or 7, and now I'm up, and then I don't go to back to bed until like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, you don't need to mess with Adderall. It's gonna really mess up your sleep cycle. If you're not even getting enough hours now, if you don't take the Adderall at the right time, or if
Two
your
days.
dosage ain't right,
He'll
I
be
mean
up for 2 days.
2 days
Mhm.
is really, that's when you first take it. Yeah, if you're taking a high dosage, but if you're doing like a 5 milligram and you take it at 10 a.m. in the rising, it's not going to keep you up for 2 days.
Mm.
But when you're talking about a 10, 15, or what I used to take was 20 in the rising
Mm.
and then 10 in the afternoon,
Mm.
um,
That's too
you
many.
up, you up.
That's too much.
Oh
Way too
You're
much.
gonna have
no.
to counteract that with some Ambien.
See, the thing is that I only, because they worry about addiction with it, but I only used it when I was doing projects.
Oh.
Because, like, especially even if it was organizing or if it was like a deep clean on the house, because I'm the type of person who, I will say I'm going to do one specific task for the day, and you get home now and everything is pulled out of every drawer in every room, because as I walk past I'm like, oh, I needed to do this. Oh wait, but I was gonna start the dishes. And Ro used to always say, oh, that's so pretty.
Oh, that's
Yeah, yeah, it's
beautiful.
really
Mm-hmm.
beautiful.
Got a
Ro used
rose
to,
on it.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
love the charm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ro used to always wonder, like, what's the pattern? You have to get one thing complete first, and then you can get the other things done. Like, you make your list and you go through, but just rotating and stopping, it doesn't work. So, what the Adderall did for me is it would separate you. You remember Terminator? When he would look and it would kind of break down everything that was in the space that he
Mm-hmm.
was in.
Oh yeah.
It You have a Terminator moment where all of a sudden the projects separate themselves and you see the steps to complete each project. Like, that's
Hmm.
how it feels internally. And I'm not, when I explained that to Quatita, her
Oh
eyes lit up.
wow.
What?
Nice.
That's
So pretty.
That's
beautiful.
really nice.
That
Sound
picture
like
needs
that
to go right
limitless
up.
pill.
Ooh.
Is a limitless pill?
Are you wiring
Yeah,
in
from the
yourself,
movie
Grace?
Limitless, when he
Oh
took
yeah, I
the
remember
pill,
that.
that's how
Yeah.
I felt. Everything
Mm-hmm.
got brighter. I felt sharp, and I was just going. But see, the girl I was dating, she had the 20s. She didn't tell me that. So I was up for like 72 hours. I went to the gym 3 times in one day. Like I
Mm.
didn't sleep. I was like, why you didn't tell me I was supposed to break that up? So yeah, no. Yeah. I've
So,
been
Oh.
down
Quatita,
that path too.
you said you're going to put those up tomorrow?
I'm taking pictures. I'll probably be up all night doing this. I'll be taking pictures of the to put them up, and I have my listing of what my other products. So I have to make mock products so I can take pictures of like my wood blissful bags or my hex
Mm-hmm.
bags. I have to take the pictures and mock ups. But I have charms, and I'm making also charm jewelry as well
Mm.
as like little trinkets.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. That's so
Hmm.
cute.
Yeah.
What about rings?
I'm not
Stone
doing
rings.
any rings, just the necklaces and the charm necklaces and like crystals. I have bracelets that I'll be working on this week.
Mm.
Um, and then I have just regular crystals that are going to be, and I've been having these. These are from my crystals as well, like little things like this. I got it from the
Oh
crystal,
wow.
Hmm.
pretty different crystals with engravements on them. that will go inside of certain bags. I have
Yes.
beautiful
I'm still on
amethysts.
here, but you can give me a hug.
Mm.
Mm.
So I'm just over here working. I'm gonna have a melanite bag. They'll have different things in it. So I'm over here working, and I'm about to go
Yeah.
warm me up some soup because I made soup last night because I'm secretly trying to get myself together.
What soup? The kale soup?
Yes, it's kale, potato, peas, and broccoli.
Mm. That
Mm.
sounds good.
It's so good. It has faux bacon and onions.
Oh yeah, that sounds
Did
good.
you
Mm.
did you tell them what you did to me at the Aesthetic? I'm gonna go on mute so you can let them
What I
know
did,
the pressure that you put on your friend.
you made a delicious kale salad.
Aubrey made that salad. Aubrey saved my life that day. Aubrey came in there like a superhero on wheels in heels.
I was finna say what she do because when I walked in there, you were making the salad.
See, did you
Exactly.
see? Did you see how I was freaking out? I was cutting up the
She kept
tomatoes
running to
and
the
the
door,
onions
QuaTiterrrr.
because y'all know this is like this kale salad is famous.
Signature. Yeah.
You
Mm.
know it's her signature dish, and she tells me right before it starts. So you're gonna be in charge of the kale salad today, okay? What?
Not
And
the
then
kale
and
salad.
then if anything, like once she tastes it, if anything is wrong with it, they everybody gonna be like, yeah, Malika messed that kale salad up. Like
And
I
I
was like,
came and tasted it, and it was really
Well,
good.
I mean, don't stifle your rise to fame.
but listen, but no, Aubrey came in there and she was like, I need you to just calm down. Like you doing it, you getting the slices correct, just keep dicing,
And you
hand
know
me
her
the
hands is
pepper,
like this.
hand me this and that. Yeah, the whole time, even as she was it was
Oh
it's gonna
wow.
be okay. And she took over, she was like, okay, we got this. And then we did the whole tasting thing, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
News alert! Somebody just sent it to me. The actor Jonathan Major was
Oh
arrested
yeah.
Saturday in New York on charges of strangulation, assault, and harassment, said authorities.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That
Of
Not
a
is
woman.
crazy.
He attacked the
Well,
ladies.
he was climbing pretty high, pretty fast. So they sound like some people trying to knock some wind out of his sail, but
Ritual.
we'll
Mm.
see.
I also want to know what the dynamics of this
yeah.
situation is going to be with
Yeah.
this woman, because it seems like there's been so many things about him and women ever since people have been commenting
Saying that
a
he
lot.
was a lover with. Now I
Mhm.
gotta prove
Mm-hmm.
to you that I can fuck and beat bitches up.
Mm-hmm.
How they was doing the interviewer.
Because I
Why
mean,
would
what would
you
be
do
the
that so
reason?
good?
Knock
I
it off.
mean, I don't
This
know.
is gonna be
They
so.
said it was his girlfriend, so
Where
Mhm.
she come from?
Right.
I don't know.
She must be the
I
interviewer.
She's a beard.
Did y'all see the video that I was? That just made me cackle.
I'm at a table full of goddesses and can't find one bottle. What is happening? Somebody help.
She's so cute on the necklace.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
Red and blue
What are
pill.
those shades?
Yes.
Which one you gonna look out at? The red one or the blue one?
well,
Oh,
you want to be awake or asleep?
are they crystal? Is it crystals
Depends on
inside the
the
glass?
day.
The
No,
lens,
the lenses are just colored.
just color. Okay. Shade. But what I was going to say was, did y'all see the interview where them two was like flirting with the interviewer?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And then
It
trying
was
to make
just
like they watching her walk.
yes. It's like, don't you remember like you always had those like dudes in the neighborhood who were always talking about getting some some cooch pie, but you know they ain't touching nothing, and it's just like, why are you trying so hard?
Like my little cousin
Hey,
who wants everybody to think that, but he secretly be fucking with men. Like, just be yourself because it's okay.
Right. Right.
I used
But
to
being
work with a guy
secretly
like that.
is not
He was
okay.
a he was a drag queen too, but we would work together and we'd be at the mall. And he'd be like, "You see that dude up there? trying to act all hard with his friend, and they look like they fighting. You know that's his lover. I was like, how you know that? I was kissing that dude like last week at a party. I was
Mm,
like, oh, so he
okay.
would any black dude that went in there to try to act like they was something, he would actually let me know what's really going on. That dude had been on Jerry Springer like twice, but he was a tall black dude and he had hands. Like I watched him beat somebody up in some pumps and a dress in the
Mm-mm.
mall.
And the
He's
fuck
like, I'm not
period.
that kind of guy. But he
Mm.
would call him out though. Some of the hardest looking dudes in the mall, he'd be like, nah, that's a lie. That's his boyfriend that he fighting with. I was like, oh, okay. He knew
Mm.
all the tea on everybody.
We've made it okay for people to not, be themselves, but then there is,
Mhm.
agenda too. I'm a bisexual woman, but I understand the agenda that there
Mhm.
are agendas out here, for depopulation as well.
Mhm.
Like we have to understand it the way we can understand it too.
Mhm.
Yeah, like the
It's
extremes on both sides. The women that say that claim the feminism movement, but they're very aggressive. Like we don't need no men for no purpose or nothing. And then you got the men on the other side that's supposed to be red pill, but they're very extreme. They're like, we don't need no women for nothing. No, I'm like, why? You know what? Y'all both of y'all just crazy on both
And
ends of the
go
spectrum.
backwards.
I'm in the middle.
Can I just say that they're doing all of us a favor, so that I want them to continue to be crazy, because what that means is the Darwin theory is not going to apply to them. So when
Mhm.
ours have
Mhm.
generations after the generations after the
Mhm.
generations, theirs will
That's
be
true.
non-existent. And so,
That's true.
gratitude for doing the
Right.
work for us.
Right. Gratitude.
but some I this
Birth rates are down for the
a lot of thoughts
genos.
trying to come out at one time. So don't you know what governors just basically said about how even though there's an agenda, it's still not wrong. So it's like they set up a system inside of a system that creates hate and also like give bias so that once so much hate is pushed towards it, then the ones that are basically like excelling in that space, it can like stifle and
Yep.
if you get what I'm saying.
I do.
Yep.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's so weird. It's like how
It's the
did we
Willie
let
Lynch.
them.
It's the Willie Lynch letter syndrome.
Mhm.
Yes, but how are they applying that? Like, was this something that was included in that letter? Because I didn't even read the full letter, and I'm calling myself out because I just honestly really need to. But
You got. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say you gotta understand too that a lot of those a lot of the negative things that people watch like the news and different stuff like that, they
Mhm.
had a show that was breaking stuff down about how they could use frequencies in the middle of a conversation that you can't even hear on television broadcasting, that's not in music, that
Mhm.
it's connected to someone's tone of when they talk. So
Yeah.
when people are watching anything dealing in that kind of nasty negative space, they don't realize that they are being programmed subconsciously on very low levels
Mhm.
of frequencies that it'll mess them up. That's why I
Mhm.
don't watch the news and stuff, because I
Yeah, I
don't
don't
want to be
either.
attached to any of that, because they
I
can put it
want.
in. They don't have to just put it in music. They can put it in someone's tone in their voice, because those
Mhm.
newscasters have to go to a place to teach them how to talk the way they talk. That's why they all talk that way.
Mhm.
I wonder if those are the like frequencies and tones that you hear, and when you're going to the doctor and you like, no, like I keep hearing this like these tones. It's like, oh, you just have tinnitus.
Yeah, yeah, the ringing in the ear.
Because I know it's also when you it's also when your ears ringing, it's spirit talking to you. But
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
like which is it?
But if they can
Mhm.
give you
Because
some medicine for it,
Mhm.
yeah,
Then you're not gonna hear spirit talking anyway. That's the
but
whole
when
point.
it's Teresa
Mhm.
Caputo, then she gets a whole show that's
Right.
dedicated to this. But when it comes to like
Mhm.
others, it's just like, oh, it's just tinnitus.
Yeah.
Take two of these.
Right.
Mm.
a lot of Christian people love to say to me, especially when I first started doing the work, oh, I don't deal with that. I don't deal with that. I had a
Mhm.
few Christians tell me that and then became my clients.
Mm.
You
Mm.
see, they got curious.
Because no, it's not even that they got curious. It's because what they've realized is, oh, I don't deal with that. But the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
while you've been dealing with that, you ain't been getting
Mm-hmm.
no answers. So now you get in
Yep.
this space of desperateness. So you have to reach out to something
Yep.
outside of what you believe,
Outside
because
of this. Yep.
you're stepping out on faith. And that's what they like to say. They're stepping out on faith.
Mm-hmm.
It's
But
like
it's like,
Quatita cracked their blinder. Their blinder got cracked because they say blind faith, but to me,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't even make any sense to even say that. That you just walk around blind.
Because
I
faith
don't
is
see that.
blind. It's a
It,
conundrum.
yeah, it doesn't make any sense, none whatsoever. So I totally get you on that one.
Mm.
I like talking to some Christian people. They always like to come around and talk, so I have a conversation with them. They always leave puzzled. Um,
Even
Yeah, I
you know
was
what?
it's
one.
a fun game.
I never called myself a Christian, but even when I was
Mm-hmm.
in the church, I had some Jehovah's Witnesses come, and they always come around and want to sit down. So one day I sat down with their ass. Let's sit down. We sat down in the front yard, and I only went into this, and they got up and left. I said, I believe, and I want to know, why don't we have debutante balls for our children, our black girls,
Mm-hmm.
out into
Mm-hmm.
society? And they said, well, we do that over at the Kingdom Hall. We do that for our girls. And I said, well, damn, I'm glad Jesus don't think like that.
Mm.
Oh.
And they got up and
Mm.
left.
shade.
That's when I was
Mm.
in the church,
uh,
the way that I think. I was never fully satisfied with what I discovered or had in the church. So it never felt right. I always felt like I was doing
yep,
something wrong.
yep.
Mm.
Mhm.
My mom told me before I was born, every time she used to even go into church, I used to go crazy in her stomach. Like I just wanted to
Mm.
just like get out of there. So she said she knew from before I was born that I never liked the church. I never liked going in there, learning about it, never want to be a part of it, even before I was born. So that just kind of stuck with me. Now things with dealing with nature and what they would consider witchy type stuff, that stuff has always resonated with me. um but people tell you that it's wrong to be
Mm-hmm.
a part of nature and stuff like that, but I
Because
didn't
it's
really
not in
care
the
because I was
Bible.
always the black sheep anyway,
Yeah,
so
that's witchcraft.
I
Mm-hmm.
was like,
Because
Let
cool,
it's
it's
me
for
go to
not
me,
in the
church
let's
and
go.
get
Bible.
communion real quick. I got communion this Sunday. Let me go. But that's what you're doing is witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, as we learned earlier today with Chandrika's use of myrrh, because that's one of the ingredients in goddesses
Mm-hmm.
as well.
That is so
Um,
funny. Stop, Malika. I
Mm-hmm.
know what you're doing.
no, this is just, I wasn't even going to say that part. I was just going to say it validates what you're saying, where they will call that witchcraft, but everyone knows of frankincense and myrrh from the
Yeah.
Bible. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even know the Bible, and I know frankincense and myrrh in the Bible. And myrrh, it has been used for centuries to banish, like if someone is sending out spiritual or psychic attacks on you, you would use myrrh.
Hmm.
So it's even
Hmm.
based around that, and it's in the book. So and I had this conversation with my grandmother. I gave gratitude to her just recently because I said, in everything that I'm doing, it's really what you taught, because she would never take me to church, but she would take me to Bible school. And both of my grandmothers were very heavy, like they were very well known in their churches, but they never forced it upon us. I'm guessing more than likely because of my dad, and they know how he is about his babies and letting them have their own ability to choose what it is they want to do. But I told her, I said, I learned from you what Psalms to use in certain situations as spells. I learned about, because my mom's mom goes to Catholic churches, or she's part of a Catholic church. And I explained to her, like, when the priest comes down with the incense and he cleanses as he
Mm-hmm.
walks through, because he's burning herbs, which
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm.
one of the products that I was carrying at one point that you find in the package, which is herbal fusion. It's a blending of herbs, and I actually burn it as an incense in my home because all of the herbs have power, right? And then when they light their candles on the altar in reverence of those who have passed,
Yeah.
it's
Mm.
Yeah.
like the correlations of it all. Gratitude
Right.
for for giving me a reason to connect to it later on. But I also do give gratitude that those were the parts that I was shown, and I didn't have the other experiences because we never like I always say, my religion was based on what private school I went to. It changed every time. If I was going to a but I've been
Yeah, I need
Episcopalian.
this year.
Listen, I've been all of them. I've been all of them, depending on what school it was. But yeah, it's really interesting how they will. When I hear the conversations, they'll denounce individuals that practice exactly what it is that even what they're doing, they've stolen that from the source, and they're reusing it in their own ways and utilizing it as a weapon as well at times. So that always stands out to me because they do it the most, more, and they do it every week, multiple times a day. Not even in the sacredness of their home, but in a space that they're protecting for someone else and not even themselves. It's just interesting.
I believe it's just another way for them because everything is so multi-layered, and I believe it's just another way for them to cause division and friction, and that's religion.
Hmm.
Religion causes
Yeah.
division and friction, just as we are talking about homosexuality. If we've been looped over time and time again, and it is something that because I liked women when I was a little girl, I used to like to see them naked. I'd be looking. So if that has been who I am since I was a little girl, but I can use like if I want to cause division, I can use that on multi layers of multi. Like I'm gonna make you hate that person, but make them, you know what I'm saying. Also, can make them hate themselves. I can I can turn this shit in so many ways that will be very destructive to one to the community, society, and to the mind. So use it even like that. It's a lot of ways that they have used religion and to divide just as they have with sexuality. You can do it with food, and it
Yep.
has been done with food. Cause veganism, that's white people shit. But everybody knows the
Yeah.
Hmm.
body needs vegetation for real.
Mhm.
But that's white people shit. We all gotta die from something.
Mhm.
Yeah, but what do you want to die from? That's always been a stupid thing I ever heard people
And
kind of say
then
that kind
say
of
that,
stuff.
Jonathan, and then tell you to go in church, pray for sister. No, we the fuck not.
Yes. I ain't never understood that. I
But
just
see,
I've been around a lot of those types of people, and I've always been looked up as crazy before. So then it made me think I was crazy, and until I sat a lot by myself and just
Mhm.
realized that that's not true. Of course, then I started watching governess over here, and it started making even
Yeah.
more sense. And then I just kept learning more. So it's been a
Mhm.
fun road, I'll say. But it ain't been easy
Mhm.
either, because man, they be kicking in on your tail spiritually sometimes to get you to change little things you might not change, you might not be changing, even though you know you
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
I had to change my whole mindset.
I'm telling you. Yeah, we done
Which
been
is the
on here for
hardest.
3 hours on there.
yeah. You know the crazy thing about it though is even though throughout all that they open up doors that they can't close,
Yes.
which is like which acts as like segues for us to be in the space that we're in now because this is the true space. So it's like when you are preaching and you're telling all this stuff, and then you have questions behind it that you can't answer. What do you think is going to be the result of that? You think you think people are just going to sit there like blindly? You're gonna get a full portion of them that's going to walk out and be like, I need to look at something else because they're not answering my questions, and I'm feeling
Mhm.
They're not
vexed.
going to. You're gonna leave with more questions than you started with.
Right. And then if my soul, my spirit is questioning what you're saying to me, then it feel like it's like a double thing that happened there. It's like this is a tool that's being used to sleep, but in a way, you just rocked my chair and snapped me about this little 5 minute nap.
Mm,
Yeah,
So,
it's a loop that doesn't close, a
that
loop that
part.
just constantly keeps you spinning,
mhm.
which is it is pretty crazy. But
It's yeah, and
it's way more fun once you get out of it though,
like
because
Governor
the
said,
sky's the
child.
limit.
Like governor said, like that's witchcraft. But let me go. I gotta go. I gotta go douse myself in this blood. I gotta go douse myself. Like, and then you end up on the picture like one of them Jenners just covered in it.
Child,
Mm.
say that.
God, this shit was too funny. I told you, you are a natural comedian, and you don't even. I don't think you even know it.
I get that a lot. I
Yeah,
get
I
that a
can't wait
lot.
for you to bring back Martha because that is gonna be too funny. I'm just gonna be over here cackling.
Only reason why I had stopped doing Martha and Rita is because it was getting so popular. And when I went on to my Snapchat to do the next episode, they had removed all of the filters that I used. And I even went into the little filter thing. I couldn't find them. I said, ain't this a bitch? So Martha was dead.
They're back now, though.
I'm sure.
Especially, yeah.
I'm sure. But that's why I stopped doing it. I'm about to go ahead and fix me something to eat. This was a great conversation. Let me show y'all my pyrite. This is why I asked what you had got in your bag, but this is my pyrite wands. Guided had got one in his bag.
Mm.
Oh wow.
Yes, I love
It's
it.
heavy
That's
too.
It's so
beautiful.
beautiful.
Mm.
These are wands. They will also be up on the website of Quatita Dean's A Walk with the Ancestors, as well as Millimort. So they will be up there as well. I got a lot of shit just getting ready to pop off if I just get my ass in the gear um, and refocus.
As you are getting your
Right.
ace into gear because you are
Right.
in that energy. What you mean
Right.
if you
You
can?
working.
Stop
I'm
You've
playing.
been
trying.
working this whole time. I've been seeing
The
your
Right.
whole
face on this
time.
camera.
Even to the point where I was like, man, my friend is getting work done and I'm not. I done picked up 2 envelopes and put stuff in it and then end up sitting right. I just made my brugal. Like, okay, what we doing next? But I'm about to be up with you,
Again.
friend. I'm about to be up with you, doing the same thing.
I'm about to turn on. I got one episode left. I'm on season 2. If y'all have not watched the show called Why Women Kill, please watch it.
Mm.
It is so good. It's on Prime. The first
Mhm.
season had Lucy Liu. It started it's 3 different generations that lived in this one particular house. They're not related. I think it was like 63, 70 or 80 something, and then 2019.
Mm.
And it's about different reasons that women have killed. Okay. And now season 2, it's only like one generation, and it's set back in like the 60s as well. But it's taking you through a series of different things. It is really funny and it's good, and I loved it. And I'm mad I only got one episode left.
I wonder if they're gonna do it like how they did American Horror Story, where they like throw everything at you at once and then break it down season by season, like each scenario, like they did Covenant. Kind of
Well,
thing.
at the end of season 1, they do that. They broke it all the way down from each person and how it kind of sort of connected. So it was really good.
I'm gonna watch it, and you know,
I'm scared.
I've been trying to stay away from series.
Watch it.
The last recommendation
I'm
was
gonna watch it.
Swarm, and I feel like I shouldn't
Hmm.
have been as hooked to that as I was.
It was
One
Like,
so
was good.
good.
Yeah, I binge watched that.
I
Yeah,
tweeted
I
her. I tweeted her today. I told her next time she have an interview. Next,
Mhm.
I said I have a dare. I dare you next time that you have an interview where you can have fun and let your hair down. I ask that you laugh. I dare you to laugh like like Andrea did when they asked her if she had a body in the car.
who was
But I
this
wonder.
tweeted to?
I tweeted that to the actress that played Drea.
that
Oh,
laugh at the trunk.
Yes.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing right now?
I love the first day she stripped. The first day she was in her stripping.
Yeah.
Listen, that was the funniest shit.
That was hilarious.
Now I haven't heard of
And then
that
at one point
that
she
show
was
y'all
just
talking
like,
about.
Yes, with the
Yes, it's funny.
and was so
My
good.
favorite part was the when she went to the doggone retreat with them ladies.
Mhm.
That was too funny to me, but it was intriguing at the same time because I'm like, I wonder if this is how like Charles Manson did them people. Child, they just showed up and he just like hypnotized them. But
Mhm.
that was some Charles Manson type crap,
Yeah.
and I was just like,
Oh, right, because I
Yeah.
dozed off during that part, kind of. So I would need to go back and actually watch that episode.
Yeah.
No,
oh, I
I
hope I'm
need you
not
to go
ruining it.
back.
No,
No, I
I'm
know you
at
didn't. You
your
didn't.
house.
I need you to go back and watch that because I really want. Okay, like how we did that 9 days movie. I'm going to present a question from now so that when you watch it, you can think about this as well, right? I want to know how you feel about that episode based on what you've taught us about the teacup and the stirring of the teacup.
Yes,
Oh.
We talked about that
Duncan
yes,
plays.
we did. Because she was
Okay.
being hypnotized for sure.
because
But
Mhm.
let me tell you what I said. I said that this kind of remind me exactly how um I don't want to say her name, but anyways, this remind me of how old lady, old girl tried to do you when you were
uh,
trying to get up out that joint.
Tony the
That's what
Tiger.
it meant. Okay, that part.
I thought that was so interesting because it's it wasn't as obvious, and Quatita and I just had a conversation about hypnotists as well. And when she had presented intrigue, I said, we ain't letting nobody gain access to the psyche, ma'am.
Right.
Because when them snaps was coming through and then the answers changed, it was
And
like,
she just,
what?
yes. And she just looked
Mhm.
at her like, come
That
on.
part. Name. And the
Right.
thing is that it was the repetition with the sound. Like that episode, it definitely that
I'm so
you know.
glad you said that, Malika.
Mhm.
That's how we train our children, especially from kindergarten. This old man, he played one, he played knick-knack on his dog. Everybody in the world
Mm.
fucking know this song. Why? Because you say it over and over and over again. You know
Mhm.
the song. It's
Mhm.
repetition with sound and noise and music, because that's how you learn.
Even the fact that with babies they use the same melody with different words. I believe it's ABC, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and there's like two more that are all the same melody.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's all the same melody, and so they're repeating. I wonder what the frequency is within those melodies, like the songs that they play with the lullabies, because they're repeating a lot of the same chord progressions within the song.
When
Listen.
I used to teach, I developed a different song for the 1 2 3s. When I was, I would sing it, and the babies would dance, and they would sing it. I made it more jazzy and like
Mhm.
R&B.
Mhm.
I
Yes.
could see you now. A B C D E F H J K L M N O
Yeah.
P.
There's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Do it
Yeah.
again. And we would sing it, and they would bop and be singing that shit like, you know, so it's repetition in music.
Thing that soul know is music, and music, like you said, is frequency.
Frequency. Because you ain't got to teach a baby nothing. You play a song, and the baby going to be at the table, can't even barely stand up. You know what I'm saying? It's something in I wonder what that is.
That's what you do to my daughter. You just sit her in the corner. She couldn't sit up, but you sit her in the corner, she would dance and dance. She couldn't crawl or nothing, but she knew music.
Yeah,
And then
Gino
one
was
day
Mhm.
at
too. As
yeah,
soon as you turn
3 years old, she was
he
like,
goes in.
"Yep." She was like, "I can catch that beat." And I was like, "What you mean you gonna catch this beat?" She's like, "Watch, Daddy, watch this." She's 3. She's listening, and then she starts snapping to the beat. I was like, "Oh, okay." But then I put her in dance for some years, competition dancing. So
Mhm.
I wanted to get something that I didn't get. I was
Oh,
b-boying,
daddy.
on cardboard.
You
You
know what
know
that
something?
what happened, guys?
Did you call him MacGyver?
No, I said Guyver.
No, it just came in my head because a lot of these songs, they were not made up by us, and some of them have double on have double
Horrible
meanings.
history and meaning.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's not really the words but the melody
Mm.
that's carrying the program. So
They
when we
tell you not
singing,
to hate each other, guided, but then you sing songs like Fatty and Skinny sleeping in the bed.
Mm.
Fatty rolled over and Skinny was dead.
Mm.
Where's
hmm
that
I ain't
song
never heard that
from?
song.
Yes,
Me.
I grew up with that
I
song.
ain't never heard of that song.
No.
That's the
Five
Humpty Dumpty song,
monkeys jumping in
technically.
the bed.
Right.
One fell off and
Oh,
broke his head. Like it's violent
Mm-hmm.
as fuck.
Yeah, I heard the
I know
monkey
that one.
one, the
Yeah,
three
yeah,
little
the
monkeys, but
words keep changing, but the melody stays the same.
But even
yeah.
I think that you're absolutely onto something, guided, because when you think about any mini miny mo and the fact that they used to say catch a nigga by the toe, if he hollers let him
Mm-hmm.
go, and babies are still using that to this day. You know, they
And
just changed one word in it. It's the same energy.
and mind you, that's the song that you sing when you're trying to pick someone who's going to be it when you're playing tag. So you're
Mm-hmm.
still catching the like it's
Right.
tough. You
Well,
know what I'm
London
I.
saying?
Bridges is
It
about the
comes
Black
from pick
Plague,
a
the
nigga.
Black Plague of Europe.
Picnic.
So
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Say it again, governors.
yeah,
That's where picnic comes from. Pick
yeah,
a
because
nigga.
they
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pick a nigga.
Let me tell you something. I look at carnivals like totally different now. Like now that I know like where it derived from, I don't even feel good in my spirit going to a carnival.
you should.
Have you
Mm.
watched the movie Queen Latifah plays Sart G.
No,
Bartman? Have you watched
no.
that, guided? The Sart G.
Carnivals,
Bartman story?
picnics,
They
order
have
Z.
that out, Malika.
Yeah, I think it's been on Prime for a very long time. Queen Latifah is
I thought
the
B was supposed to play
I
that.
thought she was supposed to play that. Beyonce. Why
Hmm?
would
maybe
they
they're
choose
coming out
Queen
with a new
Latifah?
one. This is the one where that I was telling you I watched it and I bawled because of the connections within it.
I know the
Let me
story well, but I have not watched it. And
no
I don't
this
even know if I can.
prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. But
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, I think it's on Prime. But there's definitely and that's why I wonder like, well, what are y'all about to change in this to where people know about this one, but you don't speak about the one that we watched. Let
Hmm.
me find it.
I just wanted to tell you they have a new show called Gracie's Corner, and it's like black kids on
Mm.
there. Yeah.
It's called Black Venus
Yeah, my
Mm.
on Amazon Prime. Black Venus. They have it for rent for
like
to
Venus.
rent for $3.99. When I
I'm
say
about to type it
even
in.
down to the even
Mm.
down to the private genome parties that they were having, listen, you just and how they utilized her as entertainment. And I want to challenge you when you're thinking about it to compare it to the Beyoncé's and the Nicki Minaj's of now and
Mm.
Let me tell you
how
something. That's already here. Yes, I say this all the time, which is why my whole perspective on sports and everything is totally different because at the end of the day, it's entertainment. Remember back
Mm-hmm.
then when governors told the story of Yehuda and how they wanted him to use his powers. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like in a way, I don't feel like I don't know, maybe I don't know if she disclosed this part of the story for what it was that they wanted him to do, but I feel like it was for entertainment. And the moment he like was like, no, like I'm not here for your entertainment. I'm not doing that. They were just like, oh, okay, you don't want to do what we told you to do, kind of thing, right? I always feel like it's like tied to some type of like entertainment. Like we're always here. Like right now, there's a reality show where they do like the Real Housewives and how they put like different housewives from different shows together,
Mm-hmm.
and they do like a show. They do like a super show. And right now they have like Portia and Candace. Portia is from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Candace is from Housewives of Potomac. They have they have this on this show. One of the genome ladies. She is a recovering alcoholic, right? And she says at her mouth like I'm like somebody one of y'all get drunk, like one of y'all get drunk like I'm bored kind of thing. And
Mm.
Giselle, who is also from Potomac, she stood up and she was just like, no, I don't feel good about that because what we're like your drunken monkeys or something.
Mm.
It's like an entertainment thing. Like they always think that we're here to like boom cat for them. Hey, little black one, come over here and do that little thing you do.
but
Mm-hmm.
guided. How do
That was in the
you
movie.
how does in that episode, right, when she does that, and I've never watched that one, how do you get offended in that moment, but you literally sign a contract to do that for millions of them every day?
Mm.
Hmm.
Because you
And
like
look,
How
playing
are
and
you?
it,
games.
And this is where I get frustrated with us, right? This is where, because you are now mad at this one person.
Uh
because
oh.
this is what they you muted.
Can't hear you.
Is she muted? I think her
Earpiece
Bluetooth ain't
probably went
connected.
out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Gratitude. But yeah, how are you going to be mad and call out this one person when you literally signed up for this? Because the Mona Scotts of the world are making money off your back for you to
Mm-hmm.
be out here and looking
Mm-hmm.
absolute fool to be entertainment. And the sad part is, it's not just them that's being entertained, it's us. And our children are being
Mm-hmm.
conditioned by
Mm-hmm.
your behavior, but you got an issue with her. Meanwhile, my daughter is looking up to you because
Mm-hmm.
I told her, make sure that you're looking at the Melanites on television. Make sure you're focusing on the images of mommy. So now you come as a Melanite woman engaged in this behavior, blaming it on someone else and not even taking accountability.
Because they do it under the guise of we want to show them that we're able to solve issues and and do it in a professional kind of way and not be the angry black woman. But at the end of the day, every situation that you have on here, it's in anger and it's like mean
Mm-hmm.
girl behavior and bully behavior. Like y'all do this and y'all get on here like
Y'all can want whatever you want. Everybody who's on television, in television, knows that there is a production team, and the production team is going to get their show.
Mm-hmm.
Period,
Always.
point blank. You
and
know,
you
You
and
and
signed
you
the
because
say
contract.
when you look at, I just saw that they were posting American Idol and talking about the auditions and being like, the messed up auditions. I auditioned for American Idol years ago. The fact that they leave you in the line from the evening before, if you leave the line, you lose your space, and there's
Mm.
thousands of people that end up showing up. So you have people who are begging others to hold the line so they can go use the restroom. They keep you out there for hours so they can get their helicopter shot.
Mm.
Because if
Yep.
they just
I
allow people to
auditioned
show
too.
up and do their auditions, right, Donna? I'm
Yeah.
not like, it's all truth.
Yep.
And
I
then
was
you
wondering
see,
what took so long because I took Toddy. I'm like, what the
see,
fuck is happening?
they keep
Yeah.
you,
It was stupid.
and then once the helicopter goes over, that's when they hand out the tickets and they tell you
Right.
like, okay, you still don't even get to sing for nobody that day. Mind you, Elijah's bio dad got to sing because one of the film crew thought he was attractive and he had on a cowboy hat, and she came up, she was like, can you sing? And he was like, yeah, but my girls sing better than me. And he was like, it's 7 o'clock on the dot, and she was gonna pass him through. Like, this is the bullshit of it all. She was going to
Mm-hmm.
pass him
Nah,
through
for
to the
real.
finals. And that's when she had said, listen, but when you come, you have to do the same exact song and dress in the same exact clothes. And that's when I
Mm.
knew it was bullshit. Still came back the
Hmm.
next day, sat. I heard the girl, they put us in a room with, they separate you by like 3 or 4 people. There's no televisions there. It's the production crew. There is an
Hmm.
audition before the audition that you get to see. The judges already know who is coming in the room on television when you
Mm.
see it, because you sit with the production crew, right? And they're all there and they tell you the rules again. So we're going to have each of you sing. If we tell you that you need to come back and sing the same song, do that. If you come back and you try to sing a different song or wear a different outfit, you will not be aired, pretty much, right? You're going through this phase with us, and then you'll get to sit down with the judges. Now, when I
Hmm.
say the lady who sang, I was third to sing. The lady who sang before me was amazing. The first lady who sang, like, I was in the room, like, oh, I'm just going ahead and walk out, because it was like when I was in the studio with Jennifer Hudson. There's natural singers that you just know. I'm not even going to sing while I'm here. I'm just a writer today. Gratitude. I appreciate you. I don't know where that voice came from, but I wasn't in
Hmm.
line for that one. I might have got on the other line. But I bet you can't sing in patois though. Anyway, then the next person sang and she was horrible. Do you know, because they cut one
They
person
kicked
out?
her.
Do you know
Yeah.
they kicked the first girl out and kept the one who, and
Yep.
didn't tell her like, you're garbage and that's why we're bringing you on? Hyped
Mm.
her up. Like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Same clothes,
Them
same song.
ratings.
I'm about to go get one of those out the freezer right now. Same clothes, same song. And then listen, I have the Snickers ones. Oh, stop it, QuaTiterrrr. This is why we can't be around each other. I didn't do it, Yehuda, I promise.
I mean, you lost your train of thought in your
Right.
story looking at that
This
thing.
is what
You
happened.
got a you got a problem. You got a
Put it this
problem.
way. Okay, so guided, what they do after that, right? What they do after that is well, I walked out the room because I knew if the first lady didn't make it and you just picked her, I know what I'm seeing. And they asked me why I wasn't staying or singing. I said, I'm not entertaining you for the hell of it. Like I just
I
saw
left
what you
too.
did. That's the same
They
thing
picked
that
all
happened
the
with
bad people, like literally everybody that could not sing. Everybody that
all
can
the
sing got to go. Like they were like, no, go with
Because
that.
I still remember
Everybody
Brian
else
That's
could
why
McKnight,
sing.
you
because
tune in.
there's no way my cousin, she auditioned for American Idol too. And I know even in the Fantasia movie, they show you her singing at a table before she actually sung in front of the
Yep.
cameras. So when that dude passed, the one who did the Brian McKnight song, everybody told me I sound like Brian McKnight. First time I look into your eyes, I saw heaven. Whoa, heaven in your eyes. After that, I was done. I was
And
done. There's no way
I
that
don't
this
know why you
person
keep
made it to
coming
the
here.
camera.
Hold on. I don't know why you keep
Uh-oh.
coming here, honey. If we boring, get the fuck out of my chat, ugly bitch ass motherfucker. Get this motherfucker out my chat.
who
Because you
are
want to
you
be
Oh,
talking
seen
about?
and go suck 7 dicks
this
and fuck yourself in the
this
asshole.
Mel Monroe
Get the
or
fuck out of
something
my
like.
chat because I like to cuss and I don't want to cuss tonight. So,
I don't
Dookie
see it.
shoot licking motherfucker, your mama is a whole whore who was strung out on crack when she got pregnant with you, bitch. Get the
How
fuck out of my chat.
how long ago was this coming? I don't even see it.
Yeah.
It's right there, right now.
Nobody
Yeah.
thought had this conversation and said
Get
like,
dick horse
let's have
mouth
this
out my
conversation to
motherfucking
entertain
chat.
you. Like,
Oh, I'm on the other one.
this isn't for you. This conversation is for who it's for. If you're bored, there's also a patch of dirt, I believe, that's outside of your home. You can
You
go and
stayed
play in
long enough for it, right?
that part.
You just want to be seeing dick lips. Get the fuck out of here.
It's me
Y'all
fighting to
brutal.
figure out where this comment is.
It's
Worry,
the
Oh,
I got
last
it.
comment.
Nobody else
Yeah.
got it. I got it. Gratitude.
Okay.
Okay.
people are so bold.
Mm-hmm.
No, people are
Boring.
just
So is
stupid.
that S curl. Get the fuck out of here. Like,
I don't get it. It's
how you
always
got an
been
S
crazy
curl
to
and a
me.
nappy chin. Like, stop relaxing your hair.
I just
Live in
try to
your
figure out how you
truth.
come to somebody else's space to talk junk in their space.
Because
Like you
people
literally
get
had to
Mm-hmm.
come here to
bored
do it.
and they anything for attention. That person is a no
Yep.
nothing, nobody in their real fucking life. And any attention is better than no attention. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, go sell your dick on the corner because nobody gives a fuck here.
Why is your other channel not coming up for me?
Well,
I'm getting the Miss Dean channel. That's why I was on that live. That's why I'm not seeing the comment. And when I'm typing it in, this is when I be like, they be playing with my phone. I don't like how YouTube be trying to play with my top, bro. Because when my spiritual advisor go live, I want to be in the chat with my cousins, and this is so
Right.
aggravating to me because I want to eat that person up, and I can't even eat them up the way I want to because I don't have my dish. YouTube, this is so aggravating. Anyway,
Well, it's okay. You don't
Yeah.
gotta eat them up. We don't want you to be full because then you're gonna get itis and
You know
then
what
we
I'm
can't
saying?
really
Go
have the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So
not only that, go get your Snickers out the freezer. Go get your Snickers out the
right.
freezer.
that
That might
part.
help you out a little bit. Cool you down a little bit.
Shay, let me go do that. You're right.
I can't take
Well,
it.
I like the cuss, so
I
I
do
put a
too.
whole bunch of curse words together that don't even make sense. I don't know.
I think people like to hear you cuss because they stay trying
Yep.
That person comes in my comments a lot, like,
all the time.
but this the thing, it be the same people just under different fucking YouTube channels.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you bitches be
Mm.
bored without a whole life.
Yeah, because that's stupid. Who got
That's
time for
okay.
that?
And that's what I believe though. I believe that every time we're doing something on the live or you're teaching something and somebody come in and say something other, they know it's going to catch your attention. They know they
Hmm.
Yep.
want that energy from you. They
Because they
want
think
Yeah,
it.
they
they do
make
it on
me
purpose.
mad and you not. I just really like to fucking cuss.
Right.
I'm a very passionate speaking person and you're not making me mad. I just really be like, I just want to. You give me great reason to cuss, and I cuss.
And
Look
as
at
I
see what
always
I'm
say,
saying.
the healing and the work is
What?
going to get done regardless.
So usually when I search a walk with the ancestors, right, your other page pops up there at the top, but it's only coming up a walk with the ancestors. Miss Dean, that's the backup page, right?
Yeah, back up.
It's your
Mm-mm. That's
the
the
other
that's
No,
my,
that's the
that's my main
original.
That's the
page.
original
that is
page,
the regular
Malika.
Yeah,
one. Well, the
Yeah.
comment ain't there for me then. Maybe I have them blocked.
I blocked them.
Uh, no, but maybe can you block on YouTube? I feel like I blocked some people in your comments before. As not blocked from your channel,
I
but
have.
blocked them. So okay. So that maybe
I,
it's not in my
I've done it
comments then.
before, and I wasn't a mod. I blocked people before just because I didn't like what they were
Okay.
saying.
Maybe that's what that is then.
Oh,
Well,
so you must have
gratitude to
peeped
that
them
version.
before.
Right. Gratitude to that version of Malika. Because look, soul polyamory. Let's hold hands. Previous
Period.
being that protected me from this moment and allowed me to be in my best self and have a reason to eat this frozen Snicker bar. Gratitude.
Child, I can't take it.
Because their mamas don't love them. And they want everybody to feel hate and pain because they feel hate and pain, and we don't. We still love each other over here. I don't mind
Right.
hating them. I don't care. Bitch, I will hate you and hopefully go get some. I don't what the fuck they're supposed to do.
Child.
Bitch, I will hate you and go get my rose. Don't play with me.
Okay.
Don't play with that.
When it's your prerogative, you can do what you want to do.
Like Bobby Brown in this
Yes.
motherfucker. This girl, she called me. See, this is how bored people be. Let me tell you about this no nothing ass bitch that I nothing. And for
Oh
them now.
no.
Like it's been probably like 2 weeks since she said something to me. So she calls, she likes to call and change her voice. This is how I know this bitch is bored, but if I ever catch wind to her, I'm gonna put her to sleep. Just because I like to fight too. Like so, so she calls me last night. I'm on the toilet minding my pee boo boo business. You understand?
Uh,
And she calls my and Jonathan, I was people boy.
He
I
don't
was
want to think
minding my
about it.
motherfucking business, but she called me trying to change her motherfucking voice. Tell me some, hey governess, how are you? I said, I'm well. How are you? I'm good. I said, who is this? She had to think about it. She was like, what you say? Because now she got to think of a name. Because the bitch is a liar. I said, who is this? Um, Renita. Uh-huh. How can I help you? I just want to tell you, it's that mean girl attitude that you keep coming with. I said, uh-huh. Hung up on that bitch and blocked her.
All right. Talk to you later, chlamydia jacket.
Okay. So then she go start texting from a whole nother number because bitch, I run your fingers. Bitch, go get another number now. So she started
Oh my
texting. I didn't even
god.
read that shit. All I saw was bad bill, bitch. I just deleted and blocked it.
Mm-mm.
It meant absolutely nothing to me. But I said, this bitch is really bored and upset about her own life because bitch, you ain't upset about mine. I love mines. But
Wait.
you
Get
upset
it.
because you got mines. That
So
is sad.
the same person that's the
Tracy.
same person.
Well, it's apparently two of them because she says she's not Tracy. And so apparently there's two people.
Hmm.
Mm.
it's,
Look at
people got too
Malika
much
face.
time on their hands.
Malika.
Like
That
you
is
so
not
mad,
me,
but you
but it
will
is
not give
I.
your address. Like,
It ain't me, but it's I.
you know,
Tomorrow
Right.
it's
Like
gonna
what
be
the fuck?
myself. Like, girl, give it a rest.
please, bitch, go to sleep. I keep saying you, why you just gonna kill this bitch?
I imagine her fingers must look like nubs. Cause
This
I
make
know
me
she
Mm.
be
go all
tapping
the way
hard to
out.
be mad.
Brutal.
Brutal. Anyway, I got some soup. I'm about to go in here and warm up.
I
Okay.
bought the ingredients
Well,
for a kale salad, but I'm not gonna make it till Monday because I'm gonna be healthy on Monday.
Right, you ain't gonna be healthy for one
All
day.
right.
I gotta start fresh at the beginning of the week. It's Snickers
Listen,
ice
that's
cream
why I
bars
bought
and
the
cake
ice
all
cream
weekend.
bars because I'm like, okay, it's Saturday. I'm just gonna eat the shit Saturday, but
Yeah.
Monday it'll be different.
Gotta
Like
get it out
tonight,
your
I gotta work on
system.
the class for tomorrow.
Hmm
I've already started
Okay.
it, so I'm already ahead of the game.
Mm. I can't have no more sweets over the weekend. I already ate a whole box of Nutty Buddies in like 2 days. So, because I'm starting
Not
over
the
fresh
nutty
on
boy.
Monday.
What's a nutty
I got a
buddy?
gym in my garage.
Oh,
What? Nutty Buddies?
I
You
want
ain't
some
never had a
ice
Nutty
Nutty
cream
Buddy
too,
buddy.
Nutty
before?
Buddy.
I've never had a nutty buddy. It sounds fun. Bro, what's a nutty buddy?
It's a
Little
waffle
Debbie's?
ice
You ain't never
cream
had a Nutty
cone
Buddy?
with chocolate and nuts on it.
That's what
no,
he
it's a
said.
Peanut
waffle.
butter. Yeah.
Yeah, peanut
Oh, you
butter
talking about
and
the real
chocolate.
Nutty Buddy, the
Yeah,
Yeah,
cookie?
the real Nutty Buddy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What kind of Nutty Buddy you talking about?
the ice cream.
No, I ain't never had
No, I haven't had
It's
it
a
either.
waffle cone with the ice cream with the chocolate and the nuts on it.
Listen,
That's
it's so funny
a
being Jamaican and hearing certain
what do
terms
we
that you
call
all use
those?
for food.
They call something
Ice
else.
cream cones. I don't know.
No, but
The
we
little
call them Nutty Buddy.
drumsticks.
Oh, because they have the nuts on the top.
Yes,
Okay.
but
So,
I
QuaTiterrrr,
call them Nutty Buddies. He's talking about Nutter Butters.
what?
Is that
Yeah,
what they
that's
call?
yeah. Well, we call them nutty
My bad.
buddies.
Yeah,
I
I
just
call them
want to
Nutty Buddies
prepare
too.
you
I ain't know.
They used
Oh
to
because
be
yeah,
called Nutty
yeah,
Buddies, but now I think they call them Nutty Bars.
yeah.
the retreat is going to be in Jamaica. Ashay. Okay, but we are not going to use the terms buddy in any situation requesting food.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
if you are Jamaican, you are well aware of what the buddy is.
What is the buddy? Or is that
um,
you know?
no. I mean, that's it's just like bro is cracking up. So, the masculine extension is the
Oh,
buddy. Ride
Mhm.
upon the
I
buddy,
didn't
sit
know
down
that.
upon the buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, cock it up on
Oh,
the
I've heard that in
buddy.
a lot of songs. Now I know what they meant.
Can
Okay.
I
Okay.
have a
Okay.
plate of buddies, please?
Oh, yeah.
No, see, this is why I can't do this with you. We can't even have this lesson right now because I shouldn't have even told you that.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
gonna be
good.
like, I would like a buddy, please.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what
I
the
don't
funniest
like
thing was.
buddies. I don't like
Because
buddies.
there are what's it, poke bowl places, restaurants, you know where they do the poke bowls?
Mm-hmm.
And the one that was next to us in Georgia, what was the name of it, babe? You remember the name of the restaurant? No, but what was the full name of it? It was like Pokey Fun or something like that. And we would always call and crack up. And I know the man is probably still wondering to this day because he'd be like, Pokey Fun, how may I help you? But in Jamaica, Pokey is the vagina. So,
Okay.
Mhm.
Now that's what I'll take. I'll take some of that.
My
A
buddy, my
platter.
buddy, my
Yeah. I'll
buddy,
take a
my
platter of
buddy,
that.
my buddy and me.
I wonder if that's
Shit.
where the hokey pokey came from.
oh,
Oh, that's kind of messed up. Well, the song kind of go with it.
I mean, if you
why
put
would
your
you
Turn
left
do
foot
that?
yourself
in, that
around.
means you're taking your left foot out.
The
I
one
mean,
moment I wasn't trying to be at a high
Yes.
frequency.
I'm with this statement right here. Let me tell you something. This is a side comment. This ain't even got to. I love to watch Jamaican men dance, right? And it's this one thing that they do when the beat hit, they hit like, I
Ah,
fucking love it. I be watching them dance like, I'm gonna be a freaky old lady. I'm telling you.
I messed
You
with a
told
couple
me
of
I
them.
gotta do a Stella
Never
get my groove back. So I guess I'll be
You
at
are going to
Jamaican
Jamaica,
tournament too.
so
I
But is
mean,
it true what they say about Jamaican men? About the possessiveness?
oh, I've met a lot of them. They weren't with me, but I know a lot of women who have dated them that they were very possessive like that. But I don't know. It may not be all of them.
Right.
I heard they
Mhm.
don't eat the box either because that's supposed to be like
Listen,
weak or
don't put
something
that
like
out in the
that.
fucking atmosphere.
Look, don't do
No, no,
that.
no, 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 no.
I've heard that a
Jonathan.
lot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's true or not, but you know,
Don't
Jonathan,
put that out.
Jonathan,
It's like,
do not believe the hype
hey,
because
I,
even the DJs, even that I've been in some situation. Listen, the stories that I hear behind the scenes of the things that some of them engage in, and it's so funny because me and my homegirls will be sitting there because I'm more in reggae music, dance hall than I am American music, right? As far as the work that I've done, and so I'd be around a lot of the girls that are the dancers and all of these things, and there would be so many behind the scenes stories of the stuff that it'd be the people that the DJs and all of them. I don't want to listen. This is going to be backlash. None of y'all DM me if you see this because you don't want that argument because you know I'm gonna prove you wrong. Then you're gonna be embarrassed. There's disclaimer, full disclaimer, because I will tell you what they said about you. Full disclaimer. But it'd be the ones that be like, if you never eat pum pum, if you never bow down low, engineer. When you see the hands go up, it's a majority of them that be down there right after the club is
I'm
done in the car in
taking
the parking lot.
Okay. Okay. I thought it was a lie, but you just never know. You know what I'm
take
saying? I
names and
just was
notes if they put
wondering.
their hands up
I
because
never, I'm not gonna say I never met one that didn't, but I never talked to one that didn't throughout my life. I'm just gonna say that.
you know I
I
don't
mean
know
they.
why a lot of men do that. Like, yeah, I don't really do this. Okay,
I ain't never
baby.
been one of them guys.
Okay,
Never said
DJ
that
Khaled.
before, ever. never, never, never said. Who's DJ Khaled? Oh yeah, he did say
Oh.
that, didn't he? Yeah, I ain't never been that guy. Sorry, proud, proud guy of that. I
Oh,
don't. Yeah, no. I think you're a chump if you're not. If you can't engage all the way, then why would she engage all the way? So
so like, hold on,
I've never been one
Jonathan Folk.
of them. I'm just me. I'm just me. She ain't really writing down my name, is she?
No.
I was like, what is she write down
It's
Well,
a
there?
look, right after she
possibility.
did that, she started writing for real.
I was like, hold on, what's she writing? She didn't drew a picture on it or something. Uh,
Dr. Doolittle. He's talking to cats.
After I just had my cat sitting on my lap while I was, oh boy, man.
Ooh,
DJ
child. Let me go
cannot
get
write
my
those
shoes.
jokes.
Oh my God. Uh,
You can't make it up.
Let me go get
no,
my
you can't.
food and my other stuff to make my bags up. Child.
I've been holding you on here. I've been holding you hostage on here like I do you on the phone. Quantita had talked about this kale salad about 3 times. That was about to be
Yes, I
followed
was just
by,
about to say that.
Mhm.
all right,
Because
love
I'm
you,
about to watch
peace.
this movie too. I just was watching a preview. This is about to be good as fuck.
The Venus, right?
Yeah,
Is that
Black
the one?
Venus. Yeah.
Listen, I might watch it again tonight. I mean, tears, even in my
That's not
connection with
Queen
the
Latifah though.
turtle.
That's playing her. That's not
It's
Queen
not
Latifah.
her. Why
No.
did I feel like I think there's another one that they said that they had that had Queen
Where
Latifah in
is
it
it
too?
at?
But
But there
she
was
is
All
a
black women
thicken.
don't look the same.
She is a thicken though. And he had her
sir,
like he was pulling in a
sir.
like an animal, like he's supposed to,
Mm.
like he's motioning with the thing around her neck type shit. And she's like growling, like we was just talking about. She was like, "Arr." Like we just was talking about this shit. I'm about to watch that and eat the soup and do some
It
work.
was produced
Mhm.
by Queen Latifah. That's what it is.
Mm.
Oh,
And then again, I wonder why I didn't get the. I promise I'm gonna let you go so you can eat your kale soup. I'm not gonna turn this into a conversation.
no, go ahead.
Yeah,
But
you
it
are. I
makes
can
me
tell you
wonder.
probably are.
So what you so what you all were saying was that there's another one coming out with Beyonce.
She was supposed to play her, and it was so much backlash. And they're like, first of all, she's not any kind of resemblance of what Sarah Bartman was. Like, first
Mm.
of all, she doesn't have the figure, the physique to even play
At
that.
all.
So
I
there was
just,
a lot of backlash.
I just
She
want her
just
to
should
put
have
the
won an
movie
Oscar.
roles down. Like, just put them
Listen,
down.
She
but
just won an Oscar.
what I wonder though is why they didn't bring back Shine to this project produced by Queen Latifah. Because when I
Mm.
tell you the way that they put this movie together, it'll have you so in your feelings. There's a scene where she goes to the museum, and I promise no spoilers, Quatita. But she goes to the scientist, the dude that she's with that's taking her around to all these places, takes her to the scientists that study for the college, and the situations that they put her in. Listen,
You
the way
know,
they make it so real.
Mm.
you had said something a minute ago talking about this very same project, the Black Venus, and I wanted to
Mm.
chime in and say something about the black zoos. You know, the
Mm.
melanite zoos when they used to have us in like zoos and coming and petting
Mhm.
us and touching us,
Mhm.
and want to feel our hair.
Mhm.
What this just was looking like to me, and some
Mhm.
reminded me of that as well. Um, well, I can't get into that because see now I get really angry, and then we'll be on here for another hour. Um,
That's the part that pisses me off. The fact that if people really got to witness her history and what she went through,
Mhm.
to know now that they sign up for that. We sign up for that. I
Mm.
almost signed up for that because you see the same circumstances now. I'm just not walked in by a genome with a chain around my neck. But
Josephine Baker.
Mm.
Yeah,
over and over
I saw
again, we've
that
seen the
HBO
same.
story.
And as the time has gone on, it's become more of us doing the job. Like you can see the progression of how now we do the work for them.
Mm.
Mm.
Because it's a
Oh,
self-fulfilling seed. They've already planted it. All they have to do is keep watering it. That's what I was saying about showing of the videos. The first time they did it was Rodney King. And all
Mm.
they have to do is keep showing these videos and different things like that because they're watering the seeds.
mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
they said that
okay.
the greatest slave master is one that can control his slaves without ever having to be there.
That's right.
So,
Black Venus.
Mm.
And they'll come and
Woo!
report. They'll tell you. They'll tell on
mm,
each other by
Mhm.
the Willie Lynch letter syndrome, the spell.
Mhm.
yeah, that actually there's a book called Tyranny by Madeline Albright that I listened to on Audible. I'm addicted to Audible books, but she talked about
Me
that with
too.
the Nazi when the Nazis came in to get the Jews, how they were telling on each other, but they would put up the swastika in their stores, thinking that the Germans or the Nazis wouldn't bomb their places and stuff like that, but they didn't know that really what they were doing was they were coming to get you last. So they
Mm.
came and got those people last, and then when they got to the internment camps, nobody that was they people would take care of them or do anything for them at all. So it's just a thing of if you haven't truly picked a side by you waiting too long, you've already picked one.
Mm.
So, and it can end up much worse for you and at the end of the day than the people that
This
kind
is
of
like
turned on.
the fleas in the cow situation that I've spoke on before. When they put all of the fleas or the nets in a jar, and then they remove the jar, the fleas never
Mm.
Oh yeah.
inside
Yeah.
of what
Yeah.
the jar was. Cows will do the same thing. Like it's very rare that a cow will roam away. If you mold that cow to where that cow's supposed to stay in this perimeter, the cow will do that. Now you have horses that will fucking run. You know, some cows may roam, but they're never going to take off. They're going to stay
Yeah.
in the perimeter of what you have given them. And so as
Yeah.
Melanites, that's what we do. We've now been trained to stay in this perimeter of low frequency and thinking that you don't have greatness. Even if I show you greatness, you're already inside of the Stockholm syndrome and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? Where you're not going to reach for the stars because, well, the stars ain't never been shown to me. I hear you saying it, but it's always going to be like I posted something the other day, and one of the cousins said, but that's just so hard to do. I said hate or something. I think hate in the Rose comment, right? And she said, but that's just so hard to do. And I said,
Mm.
so quick to say what we can't do. We never say, I'm gonna give that a try. I'm gonna
Mm.
see what I can do with this. It's always, but that's so I don't know if I can. We are so stuck, like, who gives a fuck?
Or
But
how does
remember,
that
Mm.
work? That's the other question that's never asked. And a lot of times it's because a lot of people will have an issue with receiving from someone else what it is they couldn't think of themselves. But I know within the cousin unit, it's not like that. We want to learn. But that is another option where you could present that question instead, which is how does that work, QuaTiterrrr? When we speak on the phone, the reason our conversations are so dynamic is because we use terms like expound on that for me. Tell me a little
Mhm.
bit more of what that means. Well, what exactly do you mean when you say that? How do
Yeah.
I apply that? Well, with you knowing me, how do I use that, QuaTiterrrr? What do you mean? How are you feeling within that moment, Malika? Well, and when QuaTiterrrr starts the sentence with a, so look, I know that question is about to be profound on so many levels. And what happens is when you start to utilize those terms instead of negating your existence, the term that QuaTiterrrr is speaking about, for you to utilize that as a response, it's not a backlash to you in any way, shape, or form, because sometimes we just don't know better because we're so used to this means of
Cognitive dissonance.
communication. Absolutely. But now that you know, now that you're aware, it's your job to do the do just for yourself, which is to present these other questions now and these other options that QuaTiterrrr presented in regards to what you could be saying otherwise, instead of what you chose to say. When you start to do that, can I please tell you the dynamics of your conversations change drastically? Your level of discernment is so much easier to tap into, because if people cannot grow with you in conversation, or if they dismiss it, like, what are you even talking about that for? What was on TV last night? It's your immediate warning that, oh, I can't elevate here. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Let me
It,
move
it
on.
it should
Uh,
really go from that's so hard to do to let me figure this out.
Yes. You not when I say I
that's the
can't
reason why I came on this live.
when I
Because
hate that
something told me
word
to
can't.
come on, and I stopped myself. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. I was just saying that's what got me on here is the fact that I heard a voice tell me to you should go on there, and my first thought was, I don't know. Then I was like, fuck it. So so then I came on here.
QuaTiterrrr, what was that? What he just explained. That's that conversation we had yesterday about the voice that's leading you versus the conditioning that speaks back to it. That's another part of the conversation that we didn't speak to, and being able to differentiate that, to know to go with the immediate thought of how you're being led, because that's typically guidance. And so, and it's so, let me tell y'all, I know Carbon and Chaz, like even last night, they were talking about our friendship, right? It is so dope to have a friend that will push me into the furthest forms of discomfort. At the top of this live, y'all heard me say, QuaTiterrrr, you set me up again. When it's saying, like, you did this again. It's so cool to have someone around you that does that. But here's the key factor to that. When she's present, I feel safe. And I know that I reciprocate that with her. Because if I'm present, she is safe. And don't let Ro be present, because then everybody else is just dead. Try it if you want to. Like, he made it clear to her on the first night, ain't nobody gonna touch you while you in Orlando. Like, that's not, and Key was there too, his brother. And listen, don't do it, QuaTiterrrr. Put your hand down. Put your hand down. Put your hand down.
He's
Not
so
key.
fine. It's sickening.
I finna say not key to her lock.
Listen,
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Child, key is fine. Anyway, go ahead.
ooh, right. But it's so dope to be in a space, like, look for that. Don't feel like when it's the people pushing you to a discomfort where it's a situation that your intuition is telling you will be traumatic, separate yourself. But allow yourself the opportunity, when you are in a space with friends that you feel safe with, that you have taken time and discerned and grown with, and it's been natural. Like, this wasn't forced, it's been natural. When you have that moment, and I realize I say that with Rose so much, we've made it because we were friends first. And I find now that that's with friendships also. When I meet someone and we rush into a friendship, or it's trauma connection, or it always ends horribly. But allowing your friendship to just naturally evolve and being in a safe space, allow them to push you to your limits. Grand Rising would not be if my friend did not push me to my limits. And I have to give Cowgirl credit for that also, aka, because her ideas and the things that she comes to me with, it pushes me to my limits as well. I would not be able to come up here and speak to you. I would not have pressed the live button today if my friends did not push me to my limits. Find that space, it exists. That's all I wanted to say. I love y'all.
I love y'all too. And yep, I'm gonna give
Oh. Oh
Oh.
boy. You all right there? You need tissue?
Well,
But when
I
you said
love y'all. Good
go,
night. I gotta
Yeah,
go do
good
some
night.
writing.
When you said you was gonna go
Yeah, I
live,
love
Okay.
I was
you.
very happy and proud of
Bye.
you. So maybe we'll see you doing it a little bit more often too. So
Let's do it
podcast,
some more.
podcast.
Right.
Anyway, I love
All right. Good
y'all
night, y'all.
too, y'all, for
Love
coming
ya.
to the
love
conversation.
you too.
Love
I will
you.
see y'all
Gratitude.
soon.
Love y'all.
Peace.
Gratitude. Have a good night.
Bye.